Guys, hello! Welcome to another Castle podcast where we don't have your princess, but we do have your podcast. I know it's been a little bit. It's been a little while. But there's a lot of stuff happened. I got next-gen console. We had Thanksgiving. Cyberpunk, which is the music you're listening to, came out, kind of. A lot of stuff's happened. There was a lot of announcements from Disney. There was a lot of stuff from the Game Awards. And you got another Zach on Zach episode. We did another Zoom call. We got another video going up on YouTube. The video version of this. It won't have this cool intro, but you can watch us talk. All that fun stuff happened, and there's so much to talk about. You got a couple hours of great entertainment coming at you. Let's just go into it, guys. All right. Enough of the intro stuff. Hello, guys. I know it's been a little bit. I was just gonna try to do. Zach has every other Friday kind of off, and I kind of want Fridays to be the day, so I might start doing just my own thing on one Friday, and then maybe do collective thing on the other Friday with Zach, so that way, because we tried to cram a lot of big news that happened just Thursday with Disney and Marvel and all their Star Wars and then the Game Awards were the night before. Excuse me. So we tried to get to a bunch of that stuff, and it was kind of hard because me and him, we wanted to chat and do stuff, whatever, and then so I kind of had to plow through some stuff. I don't even think I even got through the winners. I think I talked about The Last of Us 2 being the winner. So if it's not, because the video version I'm just probably going to have, because I have an older laptop, and I'd like to put trailers in and throw this audio over that, so if you watch the video you get the full experience as the audio. But, you know, eventually we'll get there. Eventually we'll get there at the podcast. This is technically only episode 18, even though I've been doing this a little while. But anyways, we talked for a minute, so if I didn't mention it, Last of Us 2 pretty much took away almost all the awards. One game of the year, not surprising whatsoever. And I did get through most of the stories, kind of plowed through a lot of the big stuff. Talked about how I got my Xbox Series X. My other brother Eli got an Xbox Series X as well. And then one of my other brothers, Isaiah, got a PS5. So our family's full next gen. Got to be hands-on with obviously the Series X. Had the most time with it. Got to be hands-on with the PS5. My brother's having a blast with it. I'm having a super blast with my Xbox. It feels like I'm in that realm where I'm like, oh shit, I'm not only current, but I feel a little ahead of the curve, especially since it's so hard for people to get consoles now. We did have to wait overnight for 22 hours. I think I go over the story in the video version. We talked for a little over 2 hours, about 2 hours, 16 minutes, something like that. But no, it just it was a fun experience because this console launch, which we've talked about a little bit, so I'll just recap, but it's had no physical in-store sales. It's been only online, and even when the stores have inventory physically in the store, you still have to go online at certain times. Walmart was having you go online, hey, go online at 3, 6, and 9 p.m., and then Target is like, hey, we're going to have shit at 7, and blah, blah, blah. But then you'd have to choose in-store, choose your store, choose pick up, and then go pick up the system, which I get for COVID and everything like that, but it literally opened the door for scammers to get in, and people to come in and gank all the systems who were literally buying them to flip them. You had this, I think it was a European group that has some way, some kind of program that they use that they have set up for shoes. So they get sneakers, like hot sneakers, right when they come out, and they'll buy a bunch and they'll mark up the price and sell them on eBay and Amazon and whatever. And they just turned their shit over to Xbox and PS5, and they did admit to some reporter that they have over 3,500 PS5s alone. So it's one of those situations where you have it to where I don't think this technically was a manufacturing problem on either side of PS5 or Xbox, but it looks like it with the way they were released to the public. It looks like there's now a shortage, so now it's drawn demand, and it's a mess up situation. And I don't actually fault Microsoft or Sony, because like I said, I think it's with COVID and the way the stores were releasing the systems. I feel like both companies had plenty, and if this would have been a normal release where you could go to a store and just wait in line and they could be okay to have crowds, I don't think there would have been too much of a problem. Yes, there still would have been people going to a store to buy them, to flip them, but the stores would have limited, because it would have been, one physical body per system, and you still would have had to wait, and it wouldn't have been just as easy as turn a, computer system around. So GameStop was the only company that had an actual physical, hey, 7 a.m. Black Friday, we will guarantee every store will have at least 2 PS5s and 2 Xbox Series X's. That was not the case. Literally 100% of the places, the GameStops we called and checked, which were about, I think we end up going to or talking to at least 7 or 8 stores in the middle of Indiana. And hearing stories from other people, too, is the same thing. That the most stores we're getting for the PS5 was 2. The one we went to had 1. And the mass majority had 1. And the overwhelming amount of Xbox Series X's was at least 3 to 4 per store, some having upwards of 6 and 7. So, my brother got up early, started going to stores. I was driving up from Ohio, and luckily he had checked several stores. The very first store I checked just happened to be on the way there, so I said, hey, I'll just pull off the interstate and check it out. Boom, they have 1 PS5 and 5 Xbox Series X's. So I see a girl waiting in her car. I knock on her window and say, hey, are you waiting for one of the systems? She says, yes. I say, which one? She says, Xbox. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I want an Xbox as well. So there's 2 of the 5. And my brother that was driving around wanted the PS5. So I said, hey, I got a PS5. I'm getting out of my car. I'm marking our territory. So I did, and he drove down, and this is on Thanksgiving, and he drove down. He camped out, held my spot for my Xbox. I drove to my parents, chopped off my dog, carved a turkey, got some dinner, packed it up, brought it to my other brother, and on the way, like while I was leaving, one of my other brothers was like, hey, they are out today? You guys actually have one? Yep. You want to go? He says, yep. We hop in his car, hop in mine. We start driving down. On the way there, people show up. Mind you, this is 9 and 10 in the morning that we get to this GameStop. It's now like 1. My brother says, hey, 3 people just showed up for the other 3 Xbox Series X's. So me and my other brother, Eli, who was driving down to stay with me and my brother Isaiah, who was wanting the PS5. He was like, "Oh, damn. Well, I guess they've already got the spots filled up." And I was like, "Well, technically, there's a GameStop right across where we stopped for gas." And he goes, "Really?" I was like, "Well, you want to drive over there?" I was like, "You'd have to wait by yourself. Is that okay?" And he's like, and he was a trooper, man. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Just we'll go ahead and see. It could be fun." And sure enough, man, Eli, he stood out there all night at that GameStop by himself with strange dudes. So, but he slept and watched sports and stuff. So, and everything. And he's liking his system, and because he hasn't had an Xbox in a minute. He had an unfortunate event with a dog and some urine onto his older system. So, he's back up to gaming speed. So that's good. And then, so I parted ways with him and drove half an hour down the road to my other brother, who had my spot saved, and stayed with him mainly because also to the younger brother too. He's the youngest of us. So I was like, okay, well, someone's got to go stay with him. He's still technically underage and all that kind of stuff. So drive down with him, and we do the long haul, wait outside, and time went by decent. Mandalorian came out. We watched an episode of Mandalorian. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I know, Popper. But yeah, we waited total about 22 hours. GameStop manager was real cool. Came out, gave us an ad with a sticker on it. He honored the line that we had. It was great. Had a lot of people drive by. We probably turned away about 100 people minimum at this one GameStop that came by and said, "Hey, how many systems they got?" And every GameStop, to their credit, to GameStop's credit, man, kudos to fucking GameStop, because every GameStop uniformly put exactly what inventory they had on the door. Said, "Hey, we open at 7 a.m. We have this amount of PlayStation 5s, this amount of Xbox Series X's. Whoever's at the door in line gets the systems." And, not sure if it was technically COVID friendly, but then again, they cannot literally stop someone from sitting on the sidewalk and waiting. And then if they see someone waiting there overnight, they're not going to come out and be like, "You guys can't stay here because of this." And we were social distancing, wearing masks and doing our things, so we didn't have to have any trouble. Police came by, asked what we were doing, and they were okay and everything. So everyone's all right. But kudos to GameStop, man. They put their signs on the door, what their inventory was. They honored the system. My brother, at his GameStop, had a smooth transition. They gave him stuff and said, "Boom, you guys are in line. You get this, this, this. Here we go." And our GameStop didn't let anyone in the store. They did everything at the door to further help with COVID. So they would say, "Hey, do you have your deal?" You hand it to them. Say, "Do you want any accessories, games, whatever?" You tell them what you want. They say, "Okay." They give you a total. You hand them your card. They run it, and then they hand you all your stuff. And they say next, and they keep everyone at the door. They're wearing gloves. It was... I'm proud of GameStop, man. And I've heard this from people I've talked to. This is the way they ran it, and that's awesome. I'm glad they did it. It was a shining moment in this shit of a year, this shit of way to get systems, this shitty weird next gen launch, all this shit. I'm real happy. Got ours, no problem. The great thing was we got our ticket, and he's like, "Well, we still got to open up, get stuff together." He's like, "You guys have your tickets, so you're golden. That's your system. You got it. We're not going to, give away a system to anyone who doesn't have this. So go grab a coffee or something." So me and my brother went across the parking lot there and got some energy drinks to stay up to make sure we could stand the hour drive home. It was good. It was nice. It was another fun experience because I've camped out for the 360 and the Switch, and definitely did many midnight releases, and this one was super non-eventful in a super eventful year during a super eventful console launch. So I was absolutely stoked to have that smooth of an experience. And it was a Thanksgiving memory. It was fun. So, no drama, no muss, no fuss. It was good. I'm glad that we got in line for one though. I mean, it could have been a horror story driving around because people were some people were coming the day of, and then it stopped around 7 or 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving, and then started back up because they open at 7. It started back up around 3 or 4 if I remember correctly, and people started driving up, and they would just come up and they'd walk and they would sit and they go, "Oh, hey guys, blah blah blah," and we're like, we've had these 6 consoles on lock since like 2 p.m. yesterday. So unless you're and also too, side note, I don't think we talked about this. We no, actually we probably did in the video, but people were still waiting for fucking Nintendo Switches. Like a legit amount of people were waiting for Switches. Like there was a Switch deal where you get like these 4 collector glasses, and there was bundles with, like, a free game, which it was literally Mario Kart 8. But some parents came up there and was like, "Oh, you don't have the free game with it? Well, I'm not buying the system then." And it's like, really? I just wish, I wish they knew more, because they get their kid $20 a year of online, and they get all the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games and some free online stuff. Anyways, but yeah, there was legit people waiting for Switches and everything. So I'm really, really happy that the entire launch went the way it did. So, but we talked about that stuff. I just wanted to make sure that I actually covered it properly before the video thing happens with the game boards. And I just trying to think of anything I missed, because we recorded this podcast you're going to listen to yesterday on Friday. Today's Saturday, the 12th of December. So it was, like I said, great launch, great memory. Kudos to GameStop. Also, too, since you are listening to the audio version, you get a little more bonus. After we recorded the episode, went ahead and played a little more Cyberpunk, and got online with one of my brothers and played some other games and everything. Today, on the 12th, if you're a PS4 or PC player, there should have been an update for you for Cyberpunk, for stability and stuff like that. For the Series X, it was about, or Xbox, I guess, just generally, it was about 15 gigs. Like I say in the video, I've had no real problems or anything like that, but I did go at length about my bitching about the HDR settings and how the game looked. I was severely disappointed the launch night of Wednesday night, because like Wednesday, I thought Wednesday, I'd even posted on the Another Castle Facebook what the general consensus was about release times, and it just said release time 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is where I'm at. And so I was like, cool, gonna be ready at 7. Turns out that was just for Steam, PC, and Google Stadia, not console. Even though I confirmed with several sources it was definitely console as well. No, so I had to change my time to New Zealand. Not proud of it. I don't like to change times on my consoles, and it makes me worried. Don't want to get bricked or banned or something bad happen. Did that, launched it, and then proceeded to spend 2.5 hours fucking with the HDR, wondering why the dark rooms were so dark, like in one of the opening missions, that I could not even see guys. So I'd bust up the brightness. As soon as I bust up the brightness, I would continue my mission, and then we go outside, and it was so bright that I started the game in a red car, because I started as a nomad, and the sun spots in Cyberpunk, like, it's kind of exaggerated, neon lights, stuff like that, but I'm just outside in the desert, and the sun reflections off my roof was so bright and just blown out and overexposed that it just made my roof look like a massive white glowing thing. And so, I'd turn up the brightness when it was in a dark room, and then I would go outside and it'd be so blown out, I'd turn it back down. And I just kept trying to find this middle ground, and I went through forums, asked if anyone else had this problem. People did. Finally found some settings that worked for me. It was livable. I played all through Thursday. I mean, I played a lot Thursday, had a blast. God, I had a blast. And then there's an update today, and the game looks great. Have absolutely no complaints. Game looks great. I personally, like I said in the video or in the podcast coming up, I say I don't have any crashes, stuff like that. I still haven't had any crashes. I've had no really pop-ins, no real. I've had no technical issues besides literally the HDR. And then a couple times where during a cutscene it's just kind of paused for a second, and I've just kind of hit the home button, and it's kind of like I'm smacking it awake, and it pops and right back in. That's happened 3 times. But other than that, I've had no problem. But there is an update. Glad to report, looks great. I'm actually the last thing I have to do is get this podcast out, and then I'm gonna jump in and enjoy my Saturday night back in Night City. So, all right, guys, enjoy Zach on Zach. All right. Did it give you a notification or anything, or are we good to go?
Yeah, it said starting to record. Yep, it said Zachary Arnold starting to record.
Oh, okay. Maybe since you gave permission last time.
Little red light.
Hey, all right. What's up, Zach?
Hey.
Back to doing this stuff again. It's been like, what, 3 weeks or something like that?
It might have been longer. 'Cause I don't think we did the last week I was off, so it's been
No,
a minute.
Wasn't the last week you were off Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah, it sure was. So it's been like 4 weeks at least.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving was, well, I'll talk about that, the whole Series X release thing or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of shit has happened since then, and my notes are out of date now. So, so I guess I'll just start with like, yeah, I finally got hands on. I posted like a little video on the Facebook page, like a little stupid TikTok thing we made about me and actually 2 of my brothers went over Black Friday and actually got Series. Well, me and another brother got Series X, and then my other brother got a PS5. Because he's like, well, if you guys get Series X, I'll get PS5, and then we'll all kind of run the gambit, and we'll be able to know everything hands-on of what's going on with everything. And
very jealous.
And I think me and you talked about it too, that you felt like, and even I did too, that just like with the new controller and like some of the new UI, it felt kind of like it was a new system or a new generation versus just the Series X being like a better, more beefier version of what they already have going on or whatever. But you have an Xbox One X still, right? That's what you're still.
That's right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep, I'm running on that till it catches fire.
Yeah. And as of yet, besides some shit with Cyberpunk, I don't see too many crazy reasons on either side of the fence to just go out, and I recommend highly to anyone listening or watching to do not spend more than the retail price. Please don't give any credence to the scalpers and these assholes that are doing this shit. Just please don't do that, because there's like nothing that you have to have right now that's like life changing as far as video games go, in my opinion.
Yeah, oh, for sure. My goal, my hope is that these people will, obviously some of them are making bank on this. My hope is that some of these people are gonna end up having to cut their losses and sell them, or they're gonna just have sunk money. And I hope it hurts.
Watch them have to eat like 5 PS5s or something like that.
Oh, God, that'd
be crazy. But to cut a long story kind of short, like we were kind of worried that because GameStops were advertising that they were getting 2 physical ones in store of each system, of the PS5 disc version and the Xbox Series X. No digital PS5 and no Series S. And so we're like, okay, we know we're gonna have to probably sit overnight or some shit. They're opening at 7 a.m. It's first come, first serve. We called a bunch of different GameStops and everything. And on Wednesday night, going into Thanksgiving, granted, they're not opening until 7 a.m. on Friday. He started calling and we started doing stuff, whatever. He works in Indy at an AMC theater, and on his drive home, he stopped at a couple GameStops and already saw people waiting, and the majority were waiting for PS5s because there's such a scarcity right now. And so he started flipping out because that was a system he was going to get. And he's like, holy shit. And we were checking, websites to see inventory stats and like trying to get our wits about us and everything. And what ended up happening was we both randomly woke up at like 7 a.m. on Thanksgiving. And he was like, hey, I'm just going to run to the one in my local city. And I'm going to check it out and see what's going on. And he did. And there was a guy already there in a sleeping bag from the night before that was there for the PS5. And on the door, which the GameStops told us they would do, they put up a sign physically that said, hey, we're closed on Thanksgiving. We have this amount of many of Xboxes, this amount of PS5s, first come, first serve, 7 a.m., whoever's in line, keep it orderly, that kind of shit, right? And so he starts flipping out. And so like at 8 a.m., I'm like, well, drive over to this other city, Muncie, over in Indiana. I can say that because that's
Mhm.
farther away. So he drives
Right.
over there where there's 2 GameStops, but one's in the mall, so you can't wait on the property. And the other one already has 7 people waiting at 8 in the morning on Thanksgiving. And so he's like, so he starts flipping out. And I'm like, hey, bub, you know what? I'll go ahead and get ready and I'll drive up. And so he starts driving all over Northeast Indianapolis and the surrounding areas, going to GameStops to see. And he goes to like 5 or 6 of them. And all of them already had people in line. So he's flipping out. So I say, okay, well, I'll drive up from here in Southern Ohio. And he's like, well, can you check any GameStops? I was like, I don't think there's any on my route. And sure enough, there were 2. And so about an hour in, I'm about 2 hours away from where my parents live. About an hour in, there's a GameStop. And I'm like, well, I'll just stop, whatever, screw it. And I get there and there's no one waiting. And I just see one girl in her car. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not trying to stereotype, but she didn't look like the gamer type, you know? And so I was like, okay, I wonder if she's waiting. So I tell him, I'm like, hey, dude, there's no one here. And he goes, are you shitting me? And I was like, no. So I get out and I look, and they say that there are 4 Xbox Series X's and 1 PS5. Oh, no, I lied. 5 Series X's. There were 5 Series X's and 1 PS5. And so I go over and knock on her window, try not to be like a fucking creep. And I go, hey, just to let you know, are you waiting for a system? And she goes, yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and wait here. And I was like, just want to know, are you waiting for an Xbox or a PlayStation? And she goes, Xbox. And I was like, I found a PlayStation. So I was like, oh, I'm happy for my brother. So I message him and I'm like, hey, dude, I found one and there's no one here waiting for it. And they have 1 PS5. They got their sign on the door, the whole 9. And he's like, fucking, he's like, wait right there. Do not fucking move. So he like rushes down to where I'm at and sets up camp, and we formed this little coalition with 6 of us that waited in line. And we waited all the way from, he got there about 9:30ish or whatever, and we stayed all the way until 7 a.m. The next morning. And I will give props to, um, I could say the name. It's in Shelbyville, Indiana. I'll give props to whoever the
Mhm.
manager is. He's a tall, nice guy. He really handled the opening really well. He was really awesome. He gave, as soon as he got there, he was like, you guys look cold. I have this. And like, because a line kept showing up, even though we told him, hey, we're getting the 6 systems, like the line kept showing up because people were waiting for Switches, dude. Like, I didn't know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like those bundles they were having,
Mhm.
like people were still waiting for Switches and shit. And I was like, oh, word. Okay.
That's
Okay.
weird that, man,
But he was like,
man.
he's like, you guys look cold. And he like gave us ads with like a sticker on it. And I posted some pictures of it. And so long story short, we end up getting our systems, and I got to be hands-on with PS5 and play Astro's Playroom, and watch my brother set it up, and he threw in God of War and threw on performance mode, and we were checking it out, and he was trying to see what games he could play for it. And I don't think he hasn't picked up Miles Morales yet. of course, he got Bug Snacks because that was free.
Right.
But sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but like all that shit happened,
No, go ahead.
and it's all leading to this though. Like me and you have talked, obviously, like on Facebook and stuff, and then like the last podcast we did. Um, it, I didn't realize how much fine tuning there would be going into my Series X. Like
Yeah.
I've had to go through my TV settings. I've had to go through individual game settings. I had to make sure that like there was a lot more to getting it set up and going and stuff like that than I thought there was. I had this kind of blinder vision on where I was like, okay, I just plug it in and set it up and it goes. And the setup was really easy on my phone, but you don't have to do it on your phone. But once I got it home and like started tinkering with like all the updated like Series X enhanced titles and stuff like that, and working with an external hard disk drive versus the internal solid state drive and how I wanted to manage that, I would say, you know, given work and wanting to sleep and play with my dog, I probably spent a week fine tuning stuff to the point to where like now I can just throw shit on and I'm good to go.
Yeah, that was how I felt when I upgraded from the standard Xbox One to the One X. Probably not quite as in depth, but there was some tinkering to be done. And all I did for that though is I just unplugged an external hard drive and plugged a new one in, and that was that. But
Mm-hmm.
I could see. I've read a little bit about what the Series X can do, and it is more involved than the One X as far as syncing up TV specs.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The the
I
the
obviously don't have firsthand knowledge.
Yeah, the best thing it has is this tool, and I think it's on One X as well, is that it has this really, really nice tool that lets you set up your HDR um, on both sides. It has an app, or not really an app, it's in your settings, and you can set up HDR for games and HDR for your TV. So when you do for games, it'll like show up and it's like, hey, make these checker boards all white instead of having like certain spots gray and shit. And so you'll just like turn up your thing on your system. So you set your HDR for your system. And then it's like, okay, now do you want to do your TV? And it's like, cool. So like it shows you like a bar set and it's like, make these things disappear by turning up the brightness on your TV. And it literally like lets you calibrate both sides of it. And once I did that, I was like, oh, okay. But then the problem I came up to was when I got into individual games. Can you? I don't know because I've never had a One X. I went straight from the One OG to a Series X. Um, when I pumped in Master Chief Collection, Red Dead Redemption 2, which I know you're a big RDR2 guy. Um, there's an HDR calibration in those games
Oh,
themselves.
I'm getting some lag spikes on my end.
Oh, you see me there?
Testing 1 2.
Yep, I got you. You got me.
Oh, I think I lost you.
Oh no, I can still hear you. Okay, I think we're back. Hiccup.
All right.
But yeah, Red Dead.
So you said Red Dead and Halo, and I lost you.
Oh, Red Dead had one. Master Chief had one. I've we'll talk about Cyberpunk in a second because I've had a nightmare with it. But no, I've noticed some of those
Same.
titles I've went in and messed with the HDR. Does Red Dead on One X? Red Dead 2 has an HDR calibration also, right?
Um. So it has the One X enhanced
Mm-hmm.
blurb or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I ever manually did anything with the game. I think it was just like a default.
Okay.
Uh, like it's turned on if you have the One X, and it's not if you don't.
Yeah, the game automatically like enhances itself, but like if you go into the settings, you can actually at least with the one I was or the series I was on there and I could go into the HDR in the game menus themselves and start messing with anything in case something was off, which I was really happy about. just to be able to mess with those settings or whatever. But yeah, I've had to go through and I've had to tweak so many tiny things, whatever, that now I'm getting everything where I set. And another thing I had to get past, which also is on the PS5, because my brother's been talking to me about it. The PS5, where any like if you have the PS5 version, and also like if you have the Series X or Series S version, and it'll warn you on both. It'll say like, hey, you can put this on an external hard disk drive, but to play the enhanced version, you need a faster hard drive, so you have to play it off the internal. So we've been using, I have a 2 terabyte external hard drive, and he has a 3 terabyte external hard drive, and we've been using those just as storage.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I did was any games that were actually had enhancements, I went ahead and just threw inside my system, so they were just ready to go. But if I needed space, instead of deleting it and having to re-download the whole game, I've just been throwing it back and forth because it does it a lot faster from hard drive to hard
Oh
drive.
yeah,
So it's a
that's
lot
the way to go.
easier.
Especially if you have a data cap. If you have a
Yes.
data cap at home, that's a big game changer because download if you download like so many 100 gig games in a month, you're kind of screwed. Like that terabyte uh,
Yep.
hard stop, soft cap, whatever you want to call it. You're gonna get charged more money by your ISP.
God, that stuff was so annoying back in the day with Comcast in Indiana. Like, but so that's what
Oh yeah,
we've been messing with
it's
that stuff or whatever. And then I got everything sorted out because technically I only own like 7 or 8 titles that are Series X, S enhanced or whatever. So those just live in my internal hard drive, and I've had no problem. Um, I have thrown some games that aren't enhanced, like they have the 1X enhancements, but not the Series X enhancements, like Red Dead 2 and like Grand Theft Auto 5, because
mm-hmm.
I still like to hop in both those games, try the online stuff like that. And the faster load time with those games is kind of next gen itself, because I can get into a Red Dead session in like less than
Oh
30
yeah.
seconds. Like it's
But
ridiculous.
the jump from an OG Xbox, because like my wife and I we play Red Dead Online less now, but we still play. That's like one of our top games. And she's on an OG Xbox One. I'm on the One X, and the amount of time it takes for her to get into a lobby as opposed to me is staggering. So I imagine the difference from Series X is an even greater leap.
Well, it used to be you could, you start up Red Dead or Grand Theft, even worse, and you go to the bathroom or make some popcorn or something, and then come back and be like, oh,
Take
I'm
a
in.
shower,
Okay.
take a shower, call your grandma, walk your dog, get it
Yeah,
all
you
done.
do your
Not at
taxes,
the same time,
get,
but
get blood, go vote, something.
yeah,
Come back and then you got
exactly.
it. But
Come
no,
back and get kicked for idling.
exactly. Uh, when you started a game on OG Xbox, you were clean shaven, and this is how you are once you get to a lobby. Is probably how to like,
Yeah, yeah.
because
This is a real real life time elapse.
that's what it is. But no, I've had
It's
to
like
kind
a SpongeBob meme. One
of,
hour later.
that's a perfect example. Yes. But no, he's had great luck and fun, and got to try the haptic feedback controllers out, and it feels more like a pinch. Like it'll get to a point and it kind of resists a little bit, and you kind of pinch through it like you're pulling something. And he says that there's different variations to that. So that he's been playing with, like he says even like Fortnite. He's playing Fortnite and he had different variations. So
Hopefully, developers jump on that because that could be really cool if used right.
yeah, absolutely. The consensus I'm hearing is that it's great for like a single player immersive experience, but for multiplayer, everyone's like, get the fuck out of here, that kind of stuff. But I could imagine, oh my, like I was thinking like pulling back a bow.
Mm-hmm.
If it's that good, imagine like pulling back a
Oh
bow,
yeah,
and then like maybe it's like gives you pressure and you gotta like let go to actually shoot it instead of
that'd
continue
be
to pull or something.
that'd be really cool. I'd like that. Like, 'cause imagine how cool it'd be if they put that in that what is that, the new Horizon game?
Yes, that'd be perfect for that. Yeah, that'd be amazingly perfect. Actually, now I'll be disappointed if they don't do that. Like I'll be pissed if
Game
they
is
don't.
ruined by
Yeah,
unrealistic expectations.
like you guys had this, your first party. You guys need to do this shit.
You blew it. You
But
blew it.
later
What
on
about
towards
that Predator game?
what is it?
The Predator game is like it's made by the people that
Proving
made
hunting grounds.
something like that.
Yeah, that was
It's made by
PlayStation only.
yeah, the guys that made the Friday the 13th game made it, so I didn't really have high expectations, I guess. But
Yeah, and Friday the 13th, I don't know if you kept with it. It did get better, and they put it in like a new engine, and then they continued that game out farther, and so I was just like, oh shit. I
and then
remember
they
when
abandoned it.
the new then they were just like they had single player to it, like it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
full story mode, but like you could just play as Jason. Like I was disappointed when that happened. I was like, please just let it put it in a server somewhere or let people host it. Like they might have done that actually. Don't quote me.
Well, they set it back to P2P, so it's not there's no dedicated servers. They shut down
Okay,
their
okay.
servers.
I was gonna say they should do something like that where you can at least have a host or something like that because that game's so good. Then again, with those licensings, I don't know how their license lasts or how long that is, whatever. But that was a great game to play on Friday the 13th. But yeah, do the be Predator and like pull back your bow and let it go,
Oh yeah.
whatever. And then they could easily just be like, hey, only on PlayStation can you get this fully immersive controller experience and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I will say, hands down, the best PlayStation controller out there. It's got the bulk, just like everyone said, it's got the bulk of like an Xbox, but it's got like all the bells and whistles, like the 6 axis and the it doesn't just have haptic feedback like Xbox has, but it has the adaptive triggers, which is technically what that tension system is that's in the controller. And like when I held it, I was like,
I like to see that.
this feels new. This feels like a progression towards something, which I'm not gonna lie, I love a little share button, and it is a little smaller. It is a little bit smaller. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it out, but it is. Well, yeah, I'll get it out. Fuck it. Batman. This is my setup, by the way. This is my gaming podcast setup shit. So
Oh,
yeah. Um.
right on.
Oh, by the way, too. I don't know if did we talk about this last podcast. I got Stadia.
Yeah, we did. I think we might have touched on it on the last one. I can't remember now.
Real
I know we
quick.
talked about it personally off and on, but I can't remember if we touched on it.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely have, and I'm trying to make this more of like a natural conversation instead of just like straight fucking news.
Oh,
So it's easier to listen to. But oh, you got me still?
is it me or is it you? I think it's me. It's probably me.
Oh no, did we lose it again? Oh no.
Nazi, get it all
There we
out.
go. Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go.
All right.
This might work a little better. I notice I'm actually like, I feel like I'm hearing you faster too a little bit.
Yeah,
Or-
there's less delay.
yeah. Wow. Who knew? Just plugging it
Yeah.
in would fix everything. This is awesome. But yeah, what I was saying real quick, I was trying to make this more of like a conversation podcast, so it's not just all fucking blah news the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, I got Google and everything.
How do you
uh,
like it?
we'll do a minute review here.
All right.
It's better, way better than what I thought it was. Like way better.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, up there with xCloud. Yeah. Now, as far as like money and implementation and infrastructure, nowhere near xCloud. Like
Right.
not even on the same spectrum because like xCloud is just a free thing you get with Game Pass Ultimate. This you got to pay for the service, and you got to then buy the full price games. So controller, it's I don't. It's not bad. This is also surprisingly decent. It's worse than the Pro and the Xbox and the PS5 controller, um, but surprisingly better. It doesn't feel like a like an old Nyko or something like that.
Yep.
But the
Cheap plastic
triggers,
piece of shit.
yeah, it's got some weight to it. It vibrates like it's got like a headphone jack. Like
Oh wow.
it's got an actual share button. the system works out really nice. The interface is really cool. They sent me a Google Home, or not a Google Home, a Chromecast Plus or a 4K or whatever, the one that goes 4K.
Mm-hmm.
And here, let me make this full screen real quick. There we go. And they gave me Pro free for 3 months, so I tried out like PUBG and stuff, and was shocked that I forgot I was playing off a streaming service. They do have a proprietary thing I've never seen before. They have the Google Chromecast, which I think you've seen one of those. It's just like a little dongle that hangs off the HDMI port, and
Yeah.
then it plugs in. Well, the plug-in part goes into the dongle, and then it goes, like it plugs into a wall, and the brick part that plugs into the wall has an actual Ethernet port in it. And I've never even seen that, like, ever. Like, not even like
Wow.
not even like a podunk Best Buy bin of like random electronics. I've never seen something like that. So I wired it in, and I had no problem, and it was pretty easy actually. And like, I played PUBG, and the only complaint I'll have is these triggers are insanely sensitive, because I was just running, and all of a sudden my dude like quick aimed down his like sights, and I was like, oh, there it is. There's the lag
Just
or the
resting
what.
your fingers on it, huh?
Yeah. Oh, dude. And I realized I was resting my fingers on the trigger, and I depressed them like, I mean, we're talking like, I mean, insane amount. And I was like, oh, okay, so I gotta keep these off or whatever. Other than that, I mean, I was kind of shocked by it. If it wasn't so goddamn expensive, I think it could be a viable alternative to someone that can't spend
Five
$500 on
hundred
it.
dollars.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say it is, and I'll use that transition of that, even though I was going to show both the OG Xbox controller and then the Series X. I mean, you tell me which one's which. It's whatever. There's grips, better D-pad.
Yeah.
It's a little bit smaller. That's pretty much about it. Um, but going from the
I mean, I'm
state,
still going to use the Elite Series 2.
oh
Like,
yeah, oh yeah, I
no
would too.
question.
I would kill to have those back paddles. Those are so awesome.
I think they're still available in the stores. I don't think the Series 2 sold out quite as bad as the Series 1 did. Like,
I
I
will.
think they're keeping it stocked a little better.
I'm not gonna lie. Given if I have $200 to spend, I'm gonna get that little SD card, or that little
Oh,
uh,
the
memory card,
expansion card. Yeah.
because having the games load so much faster and all that stuff on my system, I want more solid state drive space, because I just want more of my shit on that system.
While we're reviewing peripherals and streaming stuff, you remember that Razer thing I told you about that I bought for my Game Pass?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You want me to? I can show this off. So it's
yeah,
Razer, the people that make the gaudy mice and keyboards.
yeah.
They made a little thing. I don't know how well you can see it on here,
Pretty
but
well.
it's for specific. This is an actual Xbox brand. They have just generic ones, but this is an Xbox brand one. I got it. It was a little cheaper actually. I got it on Amazon, and it's got like two little dongles on the back, and you like pull on it, and actually it'll look like I'm doing it for the first time because it's awkward. But it pulls apart, and it's
Oh,
got like
what?
a little band, and you can like pull it to extend it a little bit. Like if you have a taller phone, like I'm working on a Note 8, and you're not going
Mm-hmm.
to see me demonstrate it because
Yeah.
I'm using my phone to do this. But it snaps back together pretty easy. On the right hand side, you can see here it's got a USB-C port in the center, so that will go on the
Oh,
bottom of your phone.
yeah.
And you can it doesn't cover any of your touch screens. So your interface with your phone all the same. But if you have the Game Pass app open, it'll automatically register this as a controller instead of having to sync your actual Xbox controller via Bluetooth.
That's so sick.
And it both ends once you like snap it around. And I'm running on a Windows or Nokia Note 8. Nokia, I don't know what the hell it is.
Samsung.
Samsung, that's
Yeah.
it. I used Windows phones for so long. Uh, so yeah, I use a Samsung Note 8, and it's a big ass phone, and
Mm-hmm.
this fits snugly on it. I don't feel like it's gonna pop out. It's not gonna fall out or anything. The buttons, I don't know if this is standard or if this was a typo. It has L1, L2, R1, R2. instead
Oh,
of LBRB LTRT, but it doesn't change anything.
no.
Uh, I don't know if you can hear it. That's they they're not quite as advanced as your standard Xbox controller, but they get the job
Yeah.
done. They actually do have like the whatever the Xbox calls the start and select button now on here. It's got a guide button that pulls up your guide menu. Clickable thumbsticks. D-pad is functioning. Buttons work. They're a little clicky, I think it's because they're still new part of it.
Yeah.
And I mean
So
it works. And
how do you feel actually then? Because I've only like dabbled with, I call it xCloud because that's like what the name was, but I guess just Game Pass streaming. How's your experience been with
um,
that?
you mean just like so? One thing I really like about the Game Pass app
Hmm.
is that I can, if there's a game that like I want to play, but maybe I don't know that I want to like play it a lot, or if I just want to play it like passively, like when I'm not like in front of my TV. I
Hmm.
don't want to download like a 40 gig game onto my console because, to be honest, I'm low on space on my hard drive. I'm deleting stuff
Yeah,
now.
I know
I,
the
I just
struggle.
I just stream it on my phone, and if I really like it, I'd install it. But I've been playing things like Gears Tactics, Control, um, West of Dead. I think is another. It's like a roguelike game.
Hmm.
Stuff like that. And there's a lot of games on Game Pass that I do have installed, like Deep Rock Galactic, Carrion, Gears 5. And, a lot of the other big like Sea of Thieves, Halo.
Hmm.
But I do think it's I didn't think it originally met my my habits for gaming because I don't buy a lot of games, and when I do buy games, I play the same game for months on end. I'm kind of one of
Hmm.
those people. But the value that I've found in it isn't necessarily the library; it's the ease of um, I can just play bullshit on my phone if I don't really like feel like playing something on the TV. I just want to sit with my wife and have a show on or something. But I still kind of want to play a game. Like
Hmm.
it's like the ease of the Switch, but instead of hauling around a console, I have my phone on me anyways.
Yeah.
And this little doodad makes it even easier. It's got a charging port on the bottom, so you can still charge your phone all the same,
Oh, that's
like
sick.
through it. The one I bought, it came with a thing of 14 days for Game Pass Ultimate. It's not eligible for anybody that already has Game Pass Ultimate.
So it doesn't
I can
stack.
go. It will not stack.
Ah,
So if you have someone that's watching that maybe doesn't have Game Pass Ultimate, I can go grab a code and put it on here. So
yeah.
avoid somebody, from watching if they. Yeah. Let me go grab that real quick. I'm gonna try to avoid the minefield that is my dogs and yeah, she's good.
But yeah, I also too, I've done the streaming from console, kind of like with the PS4 remote play I used to do back in the day with my Vita. I've actually done the same thing with the app and streamed instead of streaming from like the cloud, I've actually streamed from my console to my phone before, and that has a little bit better input lag. So
But this here is. Let me see if I. Good way to see this.
we
But
can always throw it up on the Facebook too.
yeah, just whatever. If that didn't catch it good, I
Give
figure it would
incentive.
be a
Yeah,
better
for
reward for someone to watching it to this point.
watching the
Probably,
video version, you can actually see it now. Nice.
yeah. So that's there.
Sweet.
Um, I'll give you a picture of it later if that doesn't end up looking very good on the uh final edit.
Gotcha.
That's I got use for it. I bought it for 3 years of gold before I upgraded, so I'm set to like 2023
Damn.
on my Game Pass.
Yeah, I need to find out if that's still going on so I can upgrade because I still have my year of PlayStation. I still have my year of Nintendo, and I need to my Game Pass Ultimate's up on the 16th, so I need to get that up to date. So even if I don't, because I don't play a lot
Yeah.
of I don't play a lot of games online with PlayStation unless they're usually exclusives, but it's so worth it to me if I pay $60 just to grab those free games every month, because I've built up a good
Oh yeah.
library on my PS4 just by getting those free games and stuff. And then they have like little
Well,
exclusive.
and the free games Sony's been having have been really solid lately, whereas
Yes.
Xbox has kind of been shooting the bed with their games to gold. If you don't mind me saying.
No, yeah, absolutely. I haven't, I don't think I downloaded one game this last month
No,
uh,
I haven't
from
downloaded
Games of
one
Gold.
game like in almost this last year from Games of Gold.
I've actually been paying more attention, like a Netflix style thing of like what they're throwing on Game Pass and what's going off, because this fucking stupid guy bought Control thinking $20 was a great deal for the whatever. Now here's the only thing I don't understand is I bought the $20 deluxe version of Control because it was IGN's Game of the Year. I found out yesterday actually for the Game Awards it was Sekiro won their Game of the Year last year, which I hadn't even played, which because I'm a slacker. But I bought the $20 version because it
Oh,
came it
Death
came
Stranding.
with it came with the next gen upgrade for free when it comes out. You don't have to buy it because they're gonna have an add-on for Control for the Series X and S. But if you get the deluxe version, you get that version when it comes out included,
Mm-hmm.
and it was $20. So and then they announced it's going to be free on Game Pass, and I was like, well, fuck. And I have not researched it. If you get the Series X version, which I would imagine you would, on the Game Pass version. But I did it, and then they were
Yeah,
like, I did it, and they're
can't
like a
imagine
week
you wouldn't.
later, they were like, Control, come in the Game Pass, and I was like, son of a bitch. But the funny thing in the
And it is pretty defeating to see that, especially. I would say I've got so many games that I own, and when I go through the Game Pass library, I'm like, "You own it!" Like it tells you own it, and like that just
yeah,
hurts. Like, 'cause I have a lot
yeah,
of games. Like,
I do like the fact that they added
oh,
the little overlay in the bottom left that says like if there's nothing there, you just straight out own the game. If you got it through Games of Gold, it says Gold. If you got it through Game Pass, it says Game Pass. If it's X or S upgradable or whatever, it has a little symbol for that too. So you can just look and go, okay, that's where all my shit's at. And then you can customize it now even further in the menus and everything like that. And I think something like that is coming for PlayStation as they get more of their titles enhanced for PS5 and everything like that. As of like a couple days ago, they
I'm all
didn't
for
they
added
didn't have it,
visibility.
but yeah, just so I know, because like there's been times where I played a game that I got with gold, um, or had with Game Pass or got from one of those services, and I let that service lapse, and then I go to play it, and it's like, you don't own this game, dumbass. And I'm like, ah, shit, I fucking forgot I don't own that game. That sucks. So now I know I'm like, oh, don't let my shit lapse if I want to continue to play this game. So that kind of shit sucks.
Now, any of the backwards compatible like 360 and before games, you get them with gold. You keep them even if it lapses, though. Yeah, like it's just
Really?
Xbox One.
I did
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
know
that's the
that.
case now. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I love that, dude. I love the fact I can get a bunch of those old games still. Because I still play KOTOR from time to time. And by the way, it looks really great on the Series X.
I'm sure. Hey, could you imagine if they actually do remaster KOTOR? 'Cause, I mean, they're doing Mass Effect.
It's up-resed. It's up-resed, but it's up-resed on One X and Xbox One. So
Right.
it's the same thing or whatever because it's up-resed or whatever. But so
Speaking of Mass Effect,
oh
BioWare announced today a sequel.
oh they did. I didn't know
Yeah,
this. What'd they
yeah.
say?
They said they're working on the next Mass Effect. Like, so I guess they didn't say. Now, I didn't click the video because I was, playing Cyberpunk like everybody else is, but it looked like it showed shit. Um,
Shepherd?
no, it was the blue chick. It's
Oh,
been too long. Like,
I can't
I'm
remember.
on a gaming podcast and someone's watching this and screaming at us. It's her. It's
With like the slick back hair or the
yeah,
slick back,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, she's like it's the Mass Effect Twi'leks. You know what I mean? Like
exactly, exactly.
uh, the sex object.
We've
Like
all
the
had sex, yes, with her.
yeah, yeah. It was just that's what you do. It's the
That's what
law.
you
Uh,
do.
But I think it showed her, or maybe someone of her species. I don't want to say they all look the same, but they're all blue people with tentacle for hair. Um, but they said it's the next Mass Effect, so I don't know if it's supposed to be a continuation of the Shepard cycle or a
Yeah.
sequel to Andromeda. I don't know. Like I don't think they even gave a name for the game yet,
Damn.
but it's on the Mass Effect Facebook.
Damn.
Um,
Well, I'm definitely down for that. Like,
I mean,
I mean, I'll give him another
yeah,
shot.
it's gonna be the Game Pass probably, right? Like, cause EA.
Yeah. I know that they'll do, because EA usually what they do with Bub. Watch out, Chance. Come on, do something. He's right by my cable, so careful there, Bubbo. I know that since they incorporated EA Play into Game Pass, which I don't know what deal with the devil they made for that, to maybe EA was like, please keep this going. But usually with their bigger
Yeah.
titles like a Madden or the UFC or the Star Wars Squadrons, which is literally the only way I played that game, they do like a 10-hour full unlocked trial of the game for 10 hours, and like it actually has a little timer that will tell you like, hey, you got this much time left on your shit, which is
Oh
nice.
man,
um
it's anxiety inducing for someone like me who like my game.
well,
That's what I was
it
saying.
doesn't stay on your screen. It won't stay on your screen, but when you start the game up, it's like you got this much time left, so I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Like someone like me, you can't ask me, well, how long have you been playing this game? Like, because you said, oh, I've been playing Cyberpunk for like 14 hours so long, and I'm like,
Yep.
I could look and see what Xbox says, but it wouldn't be a representation of how long I've been playing.
Yeah.
Because I'll play, and then I'll go do something. I'll go take care of my dogs. They're needy little shit. They need fed, and they
How dare they,
yeah,
motherfuckers, all
yeah. They're
needy.
like, don't you understand? And so, but I'll just leave the game running because I waste electricity, I guess. And
Dude,
so,
I'm super happy about that though, but I guarantee it's going to be a 10-hour trial. That game, they're going to throw a 10-hour trial, and then once it's out for 6 months to a year, they'll throw it in the EA Vault or whatever it's called now, where you just get all the EA games for free or whatever. So
mhm.
hopefully that's a day one Game Pass EA.
But I mean, at least it gives you an option.
It's how I played Andromeda. I played like 7 hours of Andromeda, and I was just like,
Uh,
and I didn't go back to it. It wasn't like I was like, I hate this game. It was just like something else came out, and I was like, oh, a piece of candy, and I went the other direction.
right.
And I played
Well, I
about
mean, I'm still waiting for UFC 4 to hit because I'm still having fun with
it's
UFC 3.
UFC 4 is on there. That's the only way I played it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only a trial right now. I'm waiting for it
Yeah,
to be a full game,
yeah.
like
I
available through.
I literally, me and Jared played it, and we just got online. We made a character real quick. We didn't do any of like the training and all that shit. It let us just make a character real fast. We made him as goofy as shit. And then we got online, and the online's a blast, and it's super fucking easy. And there's a full MMA mode. There's a mode where you just like do stand, like there's no like wrestling or grappling. It's just like, it's not boxing, so you still kick or whatever.
Punching.
And then there's one where like you have a life bar. It's kind of weird. And you play those
Yeah, it's
three
like it still
modes.
strikes.
Yes, and we played that for 7 hours. So I used 7 hours of my trial for UFC 4 to do that. But the good
That's
thing
right.
is though, you can play it right now, and if you once you buy the game, it just unlocks that trial. So your shit just continues like you never were. It doesn't like restart you or some stupid shit. So that's the plus, I guess. So
Right, it's the actual game you're playing. Like,
yeah.
that's really cool.
But the whole
Other game announcements though. Like,
was it?
or go no, your thing, your Stadia. I would
Oh,
say we were talking about game announcements and stuff, and
oh yeah.
uh,
Is there what else do you have?
well, saw the Evil Dead game got announced. I didn't
Yes.
see who's developing it, but there is a trailer. Looks like Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are both involved.
Yeah, and I think that they were
Um,
involved with Fistful of Boomstick too, weren't they? Like back in the day, like
I think
on
so.
OG
Yeah,
Xbox, PS2
I never
or something like that. I played the shit out of it. It was fun.
I never got to play that one. It looked cool, but I never got to play it. But it looks like the setting they showed was the the famous cabin out in the woods,
Hmm.
where they first read the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, and the game looks like a Left 4 Dead style of game. Just judging by this very quick screen. They showed
But
actual gameplay
third
from the
person.
trailer.
It's third person though, right? You said.
It looks to be third person. It uses multiple. They said co-op and single player. It doesn't look like there's like any versus mode or anything. But it looks like it's like a survival. I'm guessing if you opt for single player, you'll have AI teammates, or maybe it'll be balanced differently for how many people are playing. Who knows? But they're using characters from seemingly all Evil Dead media. Naturally, you got Ash, uh,
Yeah.
Ashley J. Williams, if you want to go by his legal name. It has some protagonists from the Ash versus Evil Dead series.
Yes,
Um,
it says the trailer featured 4 different playable characters taking on supernatural monsters in the woods.
yep, it had Sir Arthur from Army of Darkness. You got like a chainmail knight.
And they got the young Ash. They got like
Yeah,
Evil Dead 2 Ash on this thing. Like
yeah,
I'm
like
sure he's like give me the pointier chin. Like I need the better chin. I
yeah. We
guarantee
get the gray out of the sides here.
if they don't do some dev if they don't do some kind of development diary or whatever shit, and it just has Bruce Campbell back there like pacing, where he's like, no, make my muscles bigger, make my waist smaller. Like that would be fucking so on point with that brand. That'd be so funny.
What I want, and it's not going to happen because it's a weird expectation to set. But
Yeah,
if you play the original Spider-Man games based off like the first movie, um,
I
Bruce
still
Campbell was the narrator
I still
of
have
that game.
Spider-Man 2. I still have Spider-Man 2 on OG Xbox because until um Spider-Man, mm, I can't remember which one it was, but the original Spider-Man 2 on Xbox that yeah, Bruce Campbell narrated was the only Spider-Man that actually connected with buildings. And so it was like the best
Mhm.
swinging.
It was solid. But I want to see Tobey Maguire narrate something in this game that's
Oh
cheeky. Like that would make my day. Just like to kind of come full circle with it. And it won't happen, but
God,
it'd be nice.
could you imagine if like they cut to like he has a picture of like Tobey Maguire by his bedside or something like that? That'd be so fucking funny. He's like, I miss you, man. He's like, you're the real one for me. And just like puts the picture down. God, that was so
my
funny.
my other thing I'm wondering is if we're gonna have multiple areas or if we're just gonna be fighting in the woods. Like I don't know if this is gonna be like one of those like $30, $40 games or if we're getting like a full price $60 because the graphics look good. It
Yeah,
doesn't
they
look like
do.
a game.
Like
It
really
doesn't
good.
so like I'm curious if we're getting like a full fledged game, if there's gonna be like a campaign, if there's gonna be like a story mode made for the game,
I'm not
or if
sure.
it's gonna be like a recreation of a scene from the movies. It'd be really cool if we got new Evil Dead canon from this game. You know,
That'd be cool.
because
Uh
Ash vs Evil Dead kind of almost ended on a cliffhanger, like sort of.
yeah. I still haven't finished the last season, and I've always heard that they wanted one
It's
more.
it was satisfying of an ending, uh, to where like it's like, okay, that's the end of it. But like there could
Hmm.
like the end and then goes away and then question mark is what you can kind of get from how that ended.
See, I need to be better on my editing skills so I could like just pull up and share my screen and show like the trailer for all these because the trailer is out and just have the trailer playing while we talk about it because it'd be a lot more interesting. Because I'm
You're just
actually
hearing us talk about it. You're watching it now, yeah?
I'm watching right now. Yeah, just trying to
It
see if it.
looks
I'm trying to see if they have because it just says the horror franchise Evil Dead is coming to gaming platforms. What does that mean? My
it
friend
does
plays games, or someone's does.
they do clarify it's going to be on current or well like previous gen whatever what do we sell on we're calling Xbox One and PS4 previous gen now last
Their
gen.
last gen,
it's gonna
yeah.
it's gonna be on last and current gens, that is for sure. I think it's even going to be on. It might be on Switch. I don't remember now.
They end the trailer with the new white Xbox Series X logo.
Yeah,
So I saw that, and then it says Microsoft at the end.
that was probably just from a Microsoft page or something, maybe. Like you know how
Well, usually when PlayStation and Xbox do like the little like play it first on whatever, they usually show like a weird little here's the system and like play it on Xbox or play it on PlayStation or something like that. This just said, it looked like it just said, but it's just called Evil Dead the game.
yeah.
So I'm down with that because they could go anywhere with it, and it looks
I mean, yeah.
it
Is
looks
that actually
it,
creepy?
it looks high end last gen, borderline next gen with
Yeah.
just the lighting on it and the trailer. That looks really really good.
So I mean, if Zach is unable to get the video to play during the streaming, then go look at the trailer after this because it's if you like Evil Dead. If not, I guess don't.
I
But
might take some time
uh,
and throw the trailer do in the video version. So if you're watching
well,
this fully edited, I might throw that in if I get the time and I'm not super lazy playing Cyberpunk. But
yeah,
hey, do you want to do this then? Since we're already in game announcements, we'll save
yeah,
Cyberpunk to the very end because
sounds good.
I got some shit to
Maybe
say about
maybe there'll
fucking
be a patch
Cyberpunk.
for it by the time we get to it.
I fucking hope because I seriously sit here and check my refreshes like please give me something or whatever. And I am happy to report spoiler alert that I'm playing the game and having fun. But I have some shit to say about that fucking game, dude.
Yeah,
So the Game Awards, this is a twofer. This would happen the night before we're getting ready to record a podcast, and we're both playing Cyberpunk. And like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, take my nerd card away. My brother messaged me and he goes, "Oh, here, I'll get cut. I'll bury the lead, I guess. Last of Us 2 won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and I was like, yeah, I knew that. I'm not shocked. Game was great. By the way,
yeah.
you can watch me play it on YouTube right now if you want. But I was like, yeah, that happened. Wait a minute, the Game Awards were tonight? And he goes, yeah, and I was like they've already happened. He goes, yeah. Did you watch? And I was like, no. Like I've been playing 11 straight hours of Cyberpunk. Of course, I have not watched the Game Awards. So I was like, holy fucking hell. So I go on Twitter and I don't see much of anything. And then all of a sudden, announcements pop up and shit starts rolling and stuff or whatever. So I'm going to preface this was I'll ask you this question. Um, nothing, there was one thing that kind of surprised me, but it didn't really surprise me. Did you hear any announcement that you were like, oh shit?
Like, as far as like winners, you mean?
Not just winners, because we'll go over the winners, but I'm just talking on the terms of just like announcements of like new
Oh,
systems and games
oh,
and all that kind of stuff. Did you hear anything where you were like, oh shit, they're doing this or whatever? Because I didn't have an
nothing.
oh shit moment.
Nothing I've heard. I mean, Smash Bros. Announced they're adding Sephiroth from
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. I was never big on Final Fantasy, so I mean,
Hmm.
it's just another anime sword fighter for me.
And they got Cloud
But
already in there. So,
yeah, so I mean, that's cool for Final Fantasy fans. I'm
yeah.
sure that's big to them. 'Cause, like, you probably like, there's probably like only a few niche Final Fantasy games where you could play as the big bad guy from Seven, right?
Or you could literally have Cloud versus Sephiroth in a
In Smash
game,
Bros. Yeah,
like, and fighting together or against each other in a different setting, which is pretty cool. But
or against a mini
Mario,
version of Waluigi or some shit.
yeah. But, oh, yeah. I'm still on camp of Waluigi needs to be in this goddamn game.
He'll
I,
probably be the last one they ever add. Like, they'll add the
if
Fortnite guy. They'll add Master
yes.
Chief, and they'll
Oh,
add.
my friend Ryan asked me, he's like, who do you think for Smash? I know there's going to be an announcement. And I said Master Chief. And then here's an announcement we'll get to. Master Chief's in Fortnite now. So there's both, there's both of those worlds. And I'm not
They
going to
have
lie.
Kratos on there too, don't they?
Not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I have it. I paid $4 and I have it because I still play Fortnite with my siblings and we have a blast. And now I can play as Master Chief. Hate on me all you want. I don't care. We have a blast playing it. So, um, but
It's better than PUBG. It's better than
it
PUBG.
is. It is.
I won't even question it.
It is. I mean, the amount of shit they've done with that game as far as crossover. I mean, we were literally, it was me and two of my brothers, and I was Batman. One brother was Deadpool, and my other brother was a stormtrooper, and we were killing people. And I was like, if you didn't tell me 12-year-olds ruin this or ruin the idea of this game, this would be a fucking no fucking brainer. And then
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the next game I was Wolverine and I used my claws to kill someone. What? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, haters gonna hate, I guess. But Cliff Blazinski, I'm calling you out because that motherfucker talks shit on Twitter. And he was like, please don't put Marcus Phoenix. I'm like, it's Epic Games. Like, why? I know the Coalition does it now, but like, he's like, so I tweeted him back and I was like, don't worry, Marcus Phoenix isn't going to be in Fortnite. People actually wanted Master Chief in Fortnite. Even though I'm a Gears fan, I wanted to give him shit because I was like, don't shit on Fortnite,
Like
stupid turd.
Gears is cool. I like Gears. I've always liked Gears.
Same.
But who takes Gears seriously at this point? I guess.
I couldn't tell you besides Marcus's son being one of the main characters in the new trilogy. That's all I could tell you. Even though I've heard they've done phenomenal shit, and I have the Series X version on my system because of supposedly Gears 5 with the Series X updates looks truly next gen. Like locked 60 frames, 4K, the whole fucking nine, up to 120 capabilities, all that shit. So apparently it's fucking mind blowing. I just have not felt the need to jump back in.
You definitely Horde is better than it was on Gears 4. I still think the game was at its best in Gears 2.
Yeah, Gears 2 was amazing. God, that game was so good. They increased the movement capabilities, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
They, yeah, Master Chief's in Fortnite, but I guess we'll just go through. Like I said, there was no oh shit moment for me. There was no like they're dropping Nintendo Switch Pro, or
Mm-hmm.
here's Breath of the Wild gameplay. Oh, and it's coming out in March. There was no like I had a lot of Nintendo expectations actually. Like I wanted, since this year was the year of Mario, I wanted, since next year's the 35th anniversary of Zelda, I want them to give the same stuff they've done for Mario this year for Zelda next year. And I really hope they fucking do it. I really, really hope they do it because I'm a huge Zelda fan. But yeah, there was no oh shit moment. And I'll go through some of these titles just so everyone, if you didn't watch it and you're listening to this, you'll get, this is literally every announcement, and we're going to gloss over a couple. I'm just going to, full disclosure, because some of these I've not heard of, and that's my ignorance. Yell at me and whatever comments and shit. But the first one I got is, it just says Devolver Digital announces Loop Hero. It's an indie publisher. Devolver Digital announces it's a new deck building roguelite from Four Quarters called Loop Hero. If you're into roguelites, I guess it's coming as that's a Switch game. Day one, I guarantee that's a Switch game. Tachia, maybe the T silent, Chia, by New Caledonia was announced. It looks to be a bright and colorful open world island adventure. From the picture, the screenshot from the trailer, it looks like a girl. It looks like Dora the Explorer. I don't know. Sea of Solitude coming to Nintendo Switch for all you Sea of Solitude fans. A director's cut of Sea of Solitude is coming to Nintendo Switch exclusively on March 4th, 2021. Focus Home Interactive reveals Shady Part of Me, featuring stunning dark watercolor graphics and a dreamy, atmospheric Shady Part of Me is now available on Steam, Epic Games, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. So if you're down for some Focus Home Interactive entertainment, there you go. Nier, I know of Nier. I haven't played it, but Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 ... gameplay revealed. So a new version. It's what I've been waiting for. I have a tattoo just like the Halo 2
Yeah.
tattoo from Peter Molyneux.
No, I got these on my lip.
It'll disappear, maybe. I guess just Nier Replicant. There's a new version of it coming out. It's available for pre-order. That's not till April 23rd. So I know there are some Nier Automatica fans and stuff like that. So they'll probably like that. I'm not sure what Century Age of Ashes revealed. It's some medieval fantasy game called Century Age of Ashes. It was revealed, showing off gameplay where you ride dragons and engage in PvP combat. And it's coming February of next year. There's that. And we're actually starting to get into some decent ones. Sorry, I need my energy juice here. Oh, got those energy squirt things.
Oh, the Mio or
Yeah, but I'm cheap and I buy the Kroger
store
ones.
brand placement. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that stuff. So I got the cherry limeade. It's actually pretty good.
I digress. This is boring. I'm sorry, but Sephiroth, of course, announced, and that's coming just December 2020. So that's coming soon. That trailer was kind of weird because like the opening is like the
The bad guys from the story.
well, I totally spaced. It said one winged angel reveal,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, I don't wait, what is that? Like I seriously had like Kid Icarus in my head or something, and I was like, one winged
Yeah,
angel, what is that? And then they
maybe like a Bayonetta bad guy
yeah,
or something.
yes. Then it shows up and he pops out, and I'm like, oh shit, Sephiroth. Okay, even though in the trailer, I know
When I
nerds are gonna
saw the
hate me.
moon slide in half, I'm like, it's gonna be an anime bad guy. Just wait.
Yep, yep.
And then,
But then when I heard
yeah,
Cloud say
well,
Sephiroth, I didn't realize it was Oath.
oh, I was listening with the audio on when I did it. He said oath.
Yeah,
And
he's like Sephiroth, and I was like, oh wait, I've been saying it wrong. I'm an idiot. I've been saying Sephiroth.
no, he got it wrong. He got it wrong.
Yes, that's right. I say it right with my American slang
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Though this was the one thing I actually am looking forward to. That it didn't shock me because they were rumors. Um, but the Initiative, which is an Xbox first party, one of their big what is that? Aren't they the Quad A? I think the Initiative is their Quad A, like not AAA games, like Quad A games, like four. They got four A's. Um, they're doing Perfect Dark.
I did hear about this. Yes, I almost
And the
watched the trailer and then I got distracted. But yes,
trailer is phenomenal. If it looks like this, now there's no, of course, there's no gameplay. It's a cinematic trailer, but if it can get close, it looks good. And I know some people, like my brother last night, he's 17. He was just like, "What's Perfect Dark?" And I was just like, "It was a game." But it says coming from Studio The Initiative, a cinematic trailer for the new Perfect Dark game. Um, they're they're featuring. It says like first person echo sci-fi visuals was shown. But it did say that they confirmed it is still early in development. So I'm thinking
so
2022.
is Rare not involved with this?
I'm not sure if they are or not. Now remember too though, Rare is in the Xbox family still.
Right.
So they might still be able to pull some people over to work with the Initiative, but this might be their big quad A game. But then
It's
again, they did confirm, like they did say first person, um, and they did say it was early in development. So
and it's gonna. I mean, with that in mind, it's gonna be free on Game Pass day one.
yes, and I'm super excited about that. I don't know how well 64 version. I know Perfect Dark Zero still it's still playable for sure, but
64 is the last time I played a Perfect Dark, and the first time. Like not because I didn't like it and I didn't
mhm,
like want to play anymore. It's just that's the only accessibility I had to it.
yeah,
I liked it. It was weird. It was
but
like 007, but
yes,
uh,
yeah. Well, it was yeah, like you said, it was rare. It was rare also. So they were just like, oh, let's just take this engine, do our own story, and then we'll just add more shit to it and make it a little bit better. So it was
mhm.
for me, it was like the next step of GoldenEye. It was like, hey, do you want a bigger, better original game made by the same people that made GoldenEye? I was just like, yeah, shut up and take my money. Um, Back for Blood.
All I can remember is the laptop gun.
Oh god, that's pretty funny though to watch that shit happen. Like it. um, Here's one you might be excited about. Back for Blood. It's from the creators of Left 4 Dead.
Ooh,
It says creators for Left 4 Dead, Turtle Rock, fully revealed Back for Blood, a first-person zombie shooter with co-op, and it's coming June 2021. And
ooh,
it looks like a next-gen Left 4 Dead for the most part.
nice.
Uh,
Hopefully
so
it's good. They made
yeah,
that Evolve game back at the start of last gen,
mm-hmm,
and I was in the beta for that, and I loved that game.
yeah,
And then somehow they just totally dropped the ball in the game.
yep. They're just like,
Um,
hey, we're not going to support this.
well, like even before that, they had a really broken enemy monster that for the 17 other people that played Evolve, um,
Yeah,
it was called the Wraith, and it was just it was the most broken piece of shit. Like you could kill it, had low health, but you could kill it if
Mhm.
you could ever find it. But like it turned a back and forth tug of war kind of game into just hide and seek and insta kill one way or the other. But it was just frustrating, and most people just quit when they saw the wraith. It never got balanced, and then they added a ton of microtransactions because this was like the time of gaming where everything had like 100 different skins. I know Gears 4 did it really bad at that time, and so did Evolve. And then they did 2 like character packs that were premium DLC on top of everything else, and it just they got firebombed in the reviews for it. And who was it? Was it 2K that published them? I think
Possibly.
2K stopped funding them like right after they released the second character pack, and Turtle Rock had to just stop working on the game after they made the second character pack. It had a monster and a character for each class, like the attacker, the trapper, the
Mhm.
support, and the healer. And they added like an upgrade to the base game that was only available for PC. They added
Mm.
a couple of like variations of other characters that like serve different roles, and they did like just a gameplay balance updates, but it never hit console version for either console. Um, so
Damn.
so although I love Left 4 Dead and I hope they're doing
Well,
right by this next
they even
game,
got the 4 in the title. It's back 4 blood, like the number 4.
ooh,
So
hopefully they're
it's
not writing on goodwill because like hopefully it's substance because like they, in my opinion, they shit the bed with Evolve. Like that game could have been so much more than what it was. So fingers crossed. You know, I'll still follow
honest.
it.
I didn't know
To
until now that Turtle Rock was the developer or the creator of them. I never even.
yeah,
But
yeah. It
now
was
I'm thinking about it. I can see the logo now. I'm thinking about it.
well. You mean for Evolve or for Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead.
They weren't. I don't think they were called Turtle Rock at the time. I think that they were just working for Valve
Oh,
back.
okay.
And then the dudes then that made Left 4 Dead
They were like, I'm
um,
out.
they formed their own studio called Turtle Rock because Valve doesn't really make games per se anymore. They're just more operating Steam.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's what
I mean
Valve's
that's why
doing right now.
we never saw Half-Life 3, right?
Yeah.
But so Turtle Rock came in. The first game under that studio name was Evolve, and
Nice.
honestly, I kind of thought the studio was better because
I played it like 5 or 6 times and was like, I'm good.
yeah,
I was like, I'm not.
it had a fun
Well,
metagame.
it would just kind of suck when you were like the one guy, like you were the monster or
Oh,
some shit. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun.
yeah, you definitely. It was more fun being the hunters on that one.
So okay, so there's some game called Hood Outlaws and Legends gave a release date. I looked at it. It looked like kind of just a fun. I don't want to say like hack and slash, but it was mainly like a CGI trailer or whatever. But I guess it's coming out in May. But they're doing the full cross generation thing too with PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Series X, and PC. They have early access if that's your thing, but the early access is 3 days before the game comes out. So it's like, give me a week or something.
Yeah,
There was, which is kind of cool if you do have Game Pass. I know we're Xbox heavy, but whatever. Sorry.
we're
But
fanboys. Suck it up.
yeah, but Forza Horizon 4 actually for free today. You can go download a Cyberpunk 2077 vehicle.
Ooh,
So you can actually play if you have Game Pass, you have Forza Horizon 4, and you can play a Cyberpunk 2077 vehicle. At least you can drive it in the game if you don't have Cyberpunk right now, or you're waiting for all the stuff to be fixed. Some game called
wait,
Scavengers.
do wait.
Scavengers opens closed beta. I'm not sure what Scavengers is. So it's a free to play action shooter. So hey, there you go. If you want something free to play, I can open that up. It says go sign up on their official website. So just Google Scavengers, and I'm sure you'll find it.
There's a couple of games still in beta right now for Xbox only. I haven't heard much of them. One was that Grounded game, I think, where you're shrunk down and you're
Yeah, I
exploring
played
in
it.
the backyard. And
That's been there for a minute. I actually streamed it a while ago.
there was that, and then there was like a champion game where like it was like a PvP. Like it was supposed to be melee focused, and it seemed like it was like taking on like an Overwatch thing with like a Jet Set Radio Future aesthetic.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
It's on Game Pass. I can't think what it's called. It's not gotten great reviews, but like it's I don't know. I can't remember. Bleeding Edge. There it is. Bleeding Edge.
Oh,
That's another one I've heard of. So I was kind of curious how those games are faring since preview multiplayer games have seemed to become a thing with those two, and then the one you just mentioned.
Scavengers.
Scavengers. That's it. God, I'm bad with names. Early onset dementia.
So I guess Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide actually revealed gameplay. I didn't know the developer was called Fat Shark, so I'm learning that. But it says Fat Shark gave us our first look at Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide gameplay. It's a 4-player co-op game. It's coming out. I guess it's probably gonna be multi-platform: PC, Xbox, PlayStation, maybe Switch. We're not sure. Open Roads announced. Annapurna Interactive and Fulbright dropped the world premiere of Open Roads. Open Roads looks to be a narrative-driven experience that centers around a mother and daughter's road trip, and it kind of looks almost like Disney animation. I don't know.
It's interesting.
I'll have to check that one out. Disco Elysium Final Cut announced. A free upgrade to Disco Elysium, dubbed the Final Cuts, coming to consoles 2021. The upgrade will have voiceover for every line and new quests. So there's that. This one's kind of exciting. BioWare gave a sneak peek for Dragon Age 4, just straight up 4 right now. And it says it looks to return of some fan favorite characters.
I still haven't finished Inquisition, or not Inquisition. Shit. What was the most recent one? Was it Inquisition?
I thought it was. Because honestly, that was the one I got into the most, because I tried Dragon Age 1 and said, no, I can't do it. And then I tried Dragon Age, I think, Origins, and was like, okay. But Inquisition was the one where like I saw someone play it and I was like, oh, okay, like action, or you can pause time and kind of do your shit. Like this might be a little bit better. But the funny thing was, the person that showed me Inquisition, she was just like, she was all about the lore. So like when the characters were talking and they like, one of them popped a joke, she like laughed and I was like, I don't get it. She's like, oh, it's referring back to Dragon Age 2 when this thing happened. And I was like, oh, maybe don't do that. Not this far. Like maybe if this was literally Dragon Age 4, I would get it. This is the 4th one. But if you call it Inquisition, I feel like it should have a close set of jokes and shit like that. So
yeah, kind of like The Witcher. Like that's the thing, right? The Witcher 3, you could have not consumed any other Witcher media besides Witcher 3, and you would have had to have dug deep into the game to find things that like you're like, I don't get that reference.
Yeah.
Like, or when
that one did a good job though, having some flashbacks in it. So that one did a good job. And then I played a little bit of Witcher 2 and I was like, oh, because like Witcher 2 opens up with him like trading Ciri and stuff. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. So I got enough of that.
Witcher 2?
No.
I recommend it. Like I know it's hard to find the time.
Yeah, especially with Cyberpunk.
And I recommend it.
What else we got? There's quite a bit actually. So Endless Dungeon was announced.
Gold one too.
Yes, yeah. That's actually how I got it. Was free with gold. Crimson Desert first gameplay trailer revealed. Overcooked gets a new chef. Stunning indie game season revealed, and it does look really. The artwork's really cool. This one kind of confused me. Call of Duty Black Ops Warzone gets a season 1 trailer. So I don't know what Call of Duty's doing, because my friend just got the new Black Ops and he has a Series X, but he had to like he bought the $60 version and then had to go buy like the upgrade, but then had to re-download the whole game and go buy and then go download just the upgrade. And it said it took him like a couple days to get everything set up. But of course, he's a married guy with a kid, so it took him a little bit to get everything set up. But he was like, "Hey, dude, I just got," because he messaged me Wednesday night and he's like, "Hey, how's Cyberpunk?" And we were talking over Xbox Live, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'll talk about that in a little bit." But he was like, he's like, "Well, I just got Black Ops set up," and I was like, "Didn't you buy that a minute ago?" He goes, "Yeah, I got to play it for the first time today," and I was like, "Holy fuck!" But apparently they did that, and the trailer also showed us our first look at a new Warzone map called Rebirth Island. So, and that's free to play Warzone. So, I recommend Warzone, to be honest with you. Like if you like battle royales, Warzone and Fortnite, I mean they're free to play. I mean there's no excuse to at least try them out unless you don't want to download 150 gigs to your system.
Oof.
I'm gonna plow through some of these because there's one I want to get to because it's very weird. I like this one. Fall Guys gets a season 3 trailer. I like Fall Guys. I got it free with PlayStation Plus. Highly recommend it. Super fun game. I think it's only $20 now. Outriders gets a new trailer. We talked about the Evil Dead game being announced. Ghosts and Goblins has a resurrection, and they had gameplay, and it's coming out for Switch on February 25th, 2021. That looks really funny. A new look at Returnal. PlayStation Studios Returnal gets a new gameplay trailer and a release date of March 19th for PS5. So I know some people were tweeting about that one. It Takes Two first gameplay trailer revealed. It's a Hazelight. I like Hazelight Studios. It's a split screen 2-player co-op game. It's out in March. Super Meat Boy Forever gets a release date.
God.
That's coming out December 23rd, 2020. Because you never know if it's a 2021 release date nowadays. And here's another one that's weird. Oddworld. There's a new Oddworld game, and it's called Soulstorm. It's coming spring 2021, but as of right now, it's for PS4, PS5, and the Epic Game Stores. So I'm wondering where the Steam's at, if there's Xbox, if it's too high grade for Switch. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with that one.
That's an odd IP because it's been Sony exclusive some gens. It's been
Xbox
Microsoft exclusive. Yeah, like that one seems to hop back and forth.
And now it's PlayStation and Epic Game Store. I mean, what's up with that one? There's a new Elder Scrolls Online. Gates of Oblivion. Yeah, that's coming out January 21st. So that's a little over a month away. And that game just kind of honestly keeps getting better and better because I jump in because it's on Game Pass. I jump in every once in a while and I'm like, oh, this is feeling more like Skyrim Online, but like a lot fucking bigger. New trailer for Monster Hunter Rise, an upcoming demo announced. So the new trailer not only showed off some new monsters, but also announced an upcoming limited time demo planned for January. So the Monster Hunter games, those are always fun. I played
some content from the new movie too.
I don't know because that one's actually getting like either censored or banned in China. Because I guess there's a joke or something in it or something that could possibly be seen as offensive to China.
People hate it so far.
Yeah. Among Us.
That can be a joke to ruin another movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Among Us gets a new map. And this was what's funny. I don't understand where they're pulling this from. It's another indie game reference, but it says we finally got a look at the new Among Us map that was teased about a month ago, and it's scheduled to arrive early 2021. It was revealed that it's an ode to the Toppet clan airship from Innersloth's Henry Stickmin game. Oh, and also Jeff Keighley is a new mask in the game. So I was like, oh shit, I actually have that game on my phone and my laptop. I kind of want to go get a Jeff Keighley mask. That's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
We talked about Master Chief coming to Fortnite. Scarlet Nexus release window announced. Just Cause is coming to mobile, but no release date's been announced. So, yay!
It's already on mobile if you got a Game Pass. Just Cause 4.
I know.
There you go.
First look at Ruin King, a League of Legends story.
Another Xbox plug.
a League of Legends story that's a turn-based RPG. That's coming in 2021. So that's going to be interesting for the League of Legends people. And then Mass Effect gets a teaser trailer. It says it looks like maybe, here's her name. Liara, yeah, Liara Tassoni. I think it might just be Sony. I always said Tassoni when in my head, but I could totally be
I
wrong.
think it's to Sony.
Yeah, but it says she plays a role in the next sci-fi adventure, and just the CGI trailer, if they can match those, that looks really good for me. Monster Hunter.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dead by Daylight got a new character. I don't know if that's tied into
Oh, this is the
Game Awards or not, but it released pretty recently.
It should be, because that game's still going strong. I still see a bunch of people streaming it. I see a lot of memes from it, like a lot of funny videos. I see a lot of TikToks from that actually.
I suck at that game so bad.
But here's something everyone should stop, pause this, and go watch. Arc 2 was announced. But the trailer is a 4.5 minute long trailer, and it's these guys these people on an island, and like they're going and they're ambushed, but it looks like like locals, whatever, like more tribal-ish characters. So they're fighting, and then a T-Rex comes, and so now these two groups of people are fighting, and the T-Rex is trying to eat all of them. So they're all doing their shit. But here's the thing: the trailer stars Vin Diesel. So it's Vin Diesel leading this thing, and at the very end, they get to a part, and you see him like touch like a screen, and it looks kind of like a reminiscent of his, from Arc or whatever. And then it just, it pans up and it says Arc, and it has like 2 lines for Arc 2. But I was watching it and I was like, what is this Vin Diesel thing? Like, what am I watching right now? Like, what in the literal fuck am I watching with my face? Like, I don't know what I'm watching, and it's phenomenal. I mean, here, for video, I'll just hold it up because I'm trash, but that's him.
Such a weird.
It almost looks like Scorpion King or something. Like, it kind of reminds me of like Scorpion King. Like, what is he doing in Arc? No one ever in a million years could have told me, like, oh, there's going to be a trailer for Arc 2. It's going to have Vin Diesel. My mind would have just shit inside my neck.
Like, next thing you'll know, it'll have Danny Trejo and Terry Crews as well.
God, that'd be funny. He fights one of the T-Rexes, and he's like, it's all about family. And I says some shit. That'd be hilarious, though. But long short, that's all the announcements. There's some goodies in there for sure. I kind of want to play that Ghosts and Goblins thing. Oddworld seems cool. Elder Scrolls, that's cool. Among Us, but there's nothing that was
nothing like to blow you away with for sure.
The Mass Effect things at the end of the article, because I just literally wanted to see like, hey, what was the highlight of all the things, so I don't miss anything. And so I didn't scroll all the way down. So when you told me Mass Effect, that's the first I'd heard about it, and then it's at the very bottom. So I'm finally getting to see it. That if I was watching that live, that might have been like a really close to oh shit moment, because I just did not think for the foreseeable future that they were gonna lob back into that world just yet. I figured I figured what they would do is they would launch this remaster that they're doing of the original Mass Effect trilogy, and then they would be like, okay, that sold really well. Maybe we should dive back into this world and see what we can pull from it and where we should go with the story and stuff like that. But I'd be shocked if they locked it to one species and one. Well, I wouldn't be shocked if they locked it to one species because the other one did, but I'd be shocked if they locked it to like you're playing one character and like a singular linear story. You just kind of go straight down. I'd be shocked about that. But if Liara is involved, then who knows where it can go from there. So that's kind of exciting. But there also was
it's like if it's using a character directly from that.
Yeah, I mean that'd be the one.
That's another weird thing. So they might be able, they could import your data from the previous 3 games, right? if that's
Yeah.
the case, if she's the main character, because a lot of the stuff that Shepard did in those 3 games would tie to her story.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, that'd be kind of messed up because can't she die in Mass Effect 3?
I thought she could die even in 2, but I could be totally wrong.
She wasn't actually a crew member in part 2. She was
Was
the
it
Shadow
2?
Broker.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'm thinking. Oh yeah, that's right. She totally was. Oh, I forgot about that. Because you like meet up with her and she's. Oh yeah, okay. It's all coming back to
She
me.
takes over for the Shadow Broker. Yeah.
Damn, it's been a minute. And I can play them right now. I need to go. I would actually go back and replay those. I bet went back and replayed them in 2016 and they held up. But two, also, Disney announced this investment thing, and it was.
Oh.
The good thing about it though is that there's not. It's just like there was just like announcements, so I can briefly go real quick just so everyone knows. Every upcoming Marvel movie they announced. I'll just go through them. Which honestly, there's not one on here I didn't know about. Blade. Oh, this one I didn't know about. Shang-Chi. Not sure what that is. The Eternals. Black Widow.
Oh. Yeah.
Fantastic Four. I knew they were eventually going to get to Fantastic Four. Black Panther 2. Captain Marvel 2. Doctor Strange 2. Thor, Love and Thunder. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Of course, we knew that was coming too, because once he got off Suicide Squad, that was going to happen. But they have a lot of Disney Plus stuff happening. I'm trying to see here.
So, Black Panther 2, do we know? I mean, Chadwick Boseman, did he record anything for that movie, or what's the
Not that I know of, no.
deal with that? Like, I'm kind of surprised with that.
I'm not even sure if, I mean, as far as I know, I'm not even sure if, oh wait, it says Feige definitively addressed the biggest questions surrounding Black Panther 2. Marvel won't be recasting T'Challa role out of respect for late Chadwick Boseman. Instead, the Black Panther series will expand to spotlight other characters using the branding World of Wakanda. Ryan Coogler remains attached to direct, but the sequel's release date has been pushed back to July 8th, 2022.
Right.
So he's going to be, I don't know how they're going to have, because he's got to be dead in the world. I mean,
right.
they're not going to pull a Carrie Fisher with Rise of Skywalker. They're not going to get that lucky.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought that the universe they set up in the Black Panther movie in Wakanda had a lot of interesting and great characters.
Absolutely.
Shuri was really good, but in my opinion, Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa was the centerpiece, was the most interesting character in the room in every scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be hard for me to be as invested in these characters as I was in him. So I mean, not that it's not possible, but I think they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wondering how they're going to figure that in, because I guarantee it was not part of Feige's probably 10-year plan for up to phase 14 or whatever. I guarantee it, because he was only like what 44 or something. Like he was still young.
Yeah, just so. No, I mean it's just so unfortunate, and not because of the movie thing. Just I mean, 'cause he was so young and nobody knew what he was going through. It was just terrible.
Yeah. So it says that they announced a quick rundown of what they learned for the Star Wars live action series for Disney Plus is there's going to be a Rogue One prequel called Star Wars Andor. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi will feature Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. And from what I read, it'll take place 10 years after Revenge.
Everybody in the prequel meme subreddit just lost their minds when they saw that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It just keeps getting better and better for me.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering if they're going to meet up. If Mandalorian's going to, I don't know. I'm just happy about the entire thing. Only thing I wasn't happy about that was that I thought it should just be called Kenobi, but it's called Obi-Wan.
yeah,
It's
that would have been better.
actually called Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. It says Leslie Headland's mystery series is revealed as The Acolyte, a female-driven series set in the High Republic era. Here's one that I was happy about. Lando. He's getting Lando Calrissian is getting an event series. And then the Mandalorian, of course.
Is it gonna be?
It says here. Says they're developing Lando Calrissian live-action series with Dear White People director Justin Simeon. Looks like. Says it was revealed, blah, blah, blah. A tweet from it says the galaxy's favorite scoundrel Lando Calrissian will return in Lando, a brand new event series for Disney+. Justin Simeon is in the early stages of developing this project, but there was no specific plot details or casting announcements besides possibly Billy D. Williams or maybe something with Donald Glover, flashbacks. Who knows?
I was gonna say they can have Gambino play him, or
good old Glover. And then of course the one I didn't know was I knew Ahsoka. It says they confirmed that Star Wars Ahsoka is a real thing.
right?
And they showed the title. It looks cool the way they have her name. And then Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic. I didn't know that one's going to.
You know what I was disappointed to not see in all this?
What was that?
I was hoping we'd get a Boba Fett, and I was hoping we'd get a Darth Maul thing, and maybe we'll get more Maul stuff with Obi-Wan.
Maybe that's just farther down the pipeline or something.
Because it seemed like they were wanting to bring.
I hope it's not too much farther down the pipeline though, because
I mean they were clearly wanting to make.
Yeah, the Boba Fett stuff this week.
No, go ahead.
On the Boba stuff Fett stuff this week is even last week has been phenomenal for the Mandalorian. No spoilers for that. Please go watch that show.
Oh, yeah.
And then it says there was a teaser trailer for the animated series Star Wars: The Bad Batch. And they revealed the anime anthology project Star Wars Visions, which reminds me of like a Matrix Revolution or Matrix.
The Animatrix.
Yeah, Animatrix, and then they did one for Batman too, where they showed a bunch of different Batman stories and like different styles of anime and stuff like that. And it was really cool. So this looks like the same kind of thing, but it's called Star Wars Visions. So other big announcements were Patty Jenkins is going to get a Star Wars movie. Kathleen Kennedy revealed the next Star Wars theatrical film will be directed by Patty Jenkins. And it says Star Wars Rogue Squadron will be directed by Wonder Woman's Patty Jenkins, and feature a new generation of heroic pilots. Rogue Squadron was a great 64 game.
I see they're not leaning into the Rey trilogy, huh?
Yeah, I guess not. Rey Skywalker. Man, they had so much announced.
No.
So much announced. God damn. Yes, we know about Ant-Man 3, blah, blah, won't recast. Fantastic Four movie. We already talked about all the movies that are being revealed. There was some interesting Doctor Strange and other different news for Spider-Man 3.
Oh.
We're bringing back the actor for...
I've seen some Doctor Strange Spider-Man 3 stuff.
Yeah, it says Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness will connect the events of Spider-Man 3. So I wonder if that's how we're going to get... like, because Andrew Garfield's supposed to be in Spider-Man 3, and Doc Ock is supposed to come back from the original Spider-Man trilogy. I can't remember that actor's name at the top of my head.
Alfred Molina, I think his name was.
Yeah, and then there's supposedly Jamie Foxx's supposed to come back and reprise his role as well, except they said he won't be Blue in this one. So,
Oh, darn.
God, there's always so much release. There's always so much news. It's hard to get through because I still want to talk about Cyberpunk. Indiana Jones 5 is in pre-production, so let's do it. It
Harrison
says,
Ford doing it?
yeah, it says this will be the final film to feature Harrison Ford's iconic adventure. So I'm like, all right, wonder why he's ending on 5. Means they're probably gonna kill him off like Han Solo.
Oh man.
Noah Awley's Alien series. So as Fargo's Noah Awley is overseeing a new Alien series for FX. The series is set on Earth and blends the timeless horror of the first Alien film with the nonstop action of the second. It's going to be a scary thrill ride that will blow people back in their seats. Okay, bring it on.
Consider me in my seat, I guess.
That's the information we got. So
Let's see it.
I'm down as long as Ridley's producing it. This is kind
Yeah.
of exciting, dude. Pixar announced the Toy Story prequel called Lightyear.
Ooh.
Yeah, it says Pixar announced a new animated film called Lightyear, one connected to this Toy Story franchise. Lightyear is described as an origin story for Buzz Lightyear, charting his rise from test pilot to space ranger. Directed by Finding Dory co-director Angus MacLane, Lightyear will star Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz and is scheduled to hit cinemas in summer of 2022.
Wonder what made him want to drop Tim Allen.
Probably just maybe a younger Buzz, because toys their voices mature as the older they get, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Because everyone thinks the natural progression is Chris Evans to Tim Allen. That's how it goes.
I mean, that's how I imagine it. So eventually, Chris Evans will be doing an alt-right sitcom in about 20 years.
Captain America to America First. I don't know. That's how I see that timeline going. Pinocchio's getting
fueling millennials and
yeah.
ways.
Yeah, Pinocchio's getting. Oh wow, okay. Disney live-action Pinocchio remake starring Tom Hanks is foregoing a theatrical release entirely and will head straight to Disney Plus. Disney hasn't revealed whether other live-action remakes like Cruella or Peter Pan or Wendy will also follow suit, but no theater release for Pinocchio with Tom Hanks, just going straight Disney Plus. So, okay, let's do that. And I'm not sure about this. Raya and the Last Dragon coming to Premiere Access, so probably that $30 price range. Disney's upcoming fantasy animated film will be the next addition to the Premiere Access line. Raya and the Last Dragon will debut in theaters and on Disney Plus on March 5th. Man, I've not heard of that. It looks like a Disney Pixar film, or I mean, graphic. Yeah, it looks like a Disney Pixar film. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I mean that's kind of everything. I feel like they announced a lot though too. I mean, like several new MCU series and specials were confirmed for Disney Plus. It includes Secret Invasion starring Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn's Talos. Ironheart starring Dominique Thorne as armored heroine Riri Williams. I'm not sure who that is. Armored War starring Don Cheadle's War Machine as he fights to stop Tony Stark's armor tech from falling into the wrong hands. So Armor Wars, that's an MCU series. So I guess apparently they're drilling in my neighbor's house. Baby Groot, which is a series of animated specials revolving around the tiny Guardian of the Galaxy. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Probably like a limited series though. You know what I mean? It's probably a limited series. Yeah. And here's one that was really good. We already know about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special written and directed by James Gunn and slated to debut holiday 2022. And yes, he says it directly is because of the Star Wars holiday special from the 70s.
Well, for sure, it has to be. That's good. We're keeping up tradition.
So he's completely down.
Intentionally shitty holiday movies. Intentionally shitty is fine.
I guess the last bit we'll talk about this real quick since I had to rapid fire through some of that shit because there's just so much. I'm sure we'll talk more about These, because a lot of them were like logos and just kind of when they're going to come out. Like Ahsoka, here's a logo. Here's a logo. Obi-Wan Kenobi, this, and then of course the news came out about Hayden Christensen being in the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing as Darth Vader 10 years in. So that was cool, but like we don't have any footage or behind the scenes or nothing. So I'm like, okay, we got the announcements. I guess the last bit is it says Kevin Feige also revealed release windows, which is all he can do at this point, for several previously announced projects. The Falcon and Winter Soldier is debuting March 2021, so that's soon. Followed by Loki in May of 2021, and then the What If series is going to be summer 2021. Additionally, Tatiana Maslany has finally been confirmed to play the lead role in She-Hulk. And Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth, I love Tim Roth. I like Mark Ruffalo too. They're also confirmed to reprise their roles as Bruce Banner and the Abomination, respectively, in the She-Hulk series. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And then as far as the the Fantastic Four one, the only thing we got is just says, a few details are known. Feige just announced that the Fantastic Four movie is officially in development at Marvel Studios, and it has Spider-Man: Homecoming's John Watts attached to direct. So
it's not going to be like the Michael B. Jordan one. I don't know who else was in that movie as Michael B. Jordan.
No.
And imagine.
And they're saying it's in development, so they're probably still working through scripts. To be honest with you, that's what I would imagine. Because in development's like there's someone rewriting it right now.
Imagine if they get the Chris Evans
weird crossover.
Yeah.
Like they start the multiverse, and then it's like, wait a minute, that suit looks familiar or some shit.
Or he just flat out is Johnny Storm, and so like when they run into people that have fought alongside Captain America in the past, it's like a weird glancing like.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not Captain. Well, we don't know. I'd assume he's not Captain America anymore. I mean, as far as him playing the character Captain America, he's not Captain America anymore. So he's like, hey, I'm free. I'll just go reprise that role. I still look the same, guys. Sorry, I'll grow some sideburns. That's it.
It'd be real weird though, because like I feel like he doesn't want to do superhero stuff anymore. That was kind of the point, right?
Yeah, and like everyone who probably doesn't have any like inkling of like what goes into a movie, like, because I've had a couple people be like, man, why would you turn that down? It's just a cush that, but it's not. That's a lot of fucking work, a lot of long days, a lot of like 12-hour days on set and full makeup and the whole thing. Like, it's like you go to a job, you're still, hey, you're scheduled to be on set at this time. We're scheduled to be done at this time. We could go over. So you're at a job for a set amount of hours. So it's like a job. You just get paid a fuckload more money, and it's probably more fun than loading trucks, because I've done trucks and it's horrible.
Yeah.
But I can't blame him, man. I couldn't blame. I couldn't blame what's his Robert Downey after that long. Yeah. I was like,
I mean, hell, they made their money. Who cares what they do now?
Yeah.
Like
phase 4, 5? I've lost track.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I do like on the spines how it tells you, though. It's really cool. My brother has them all nice and neat. He has a great movie collection, and they'll say on them phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, so you can go through. It's really well done. Like, kudos to them. Like, they nailed it. But that stuff's really done. But I don't know if you have anything else to say, because I want to move on.
Nope.
Because this is my transmission from earlier. Speaking of Google Stadia, apparently there's only 2 fucking places you can play Cyberpunk perfectly right now. And it happens to be PC and fucking Stadia.
Shit.
Apparently Stadia and PC, depending of course on your rig. Stadia is just a dongle. But apparently PC and Stadia are the 2 best places to play Cyberpunk right now. And that one floored me. I was just like, are you shitting me? Stadia just back of the race coming like, hey, we're just saying.
We can play the game nobody else can.
Yeah. You don't have to download shit. It's a dongle on your TV. You just make sure your controller's connected and you're good to go.
I mean, they've got to do some patches this weekend, man. This is such a bad release
Yeah.
for a game that was so hyped. This was supposed to be game of the year, and it got delayed for nearly a year.
Yeah,
And it's
it's not
been
even
then
eligible. It wasn't even eligible because of the delay.
no, and
So
everyone was so excited, and then it came out, and it runs bad. Like,
you want to know my joke real quick? My joke is it'll probably be game of the year next year because it'll take a fucking year for it to be a game.
yeah. So this is where we see the difference in a good game and a well-made game, right?
Hmm.
Because this you can tell from when you can play it, it is a good game. I think.
Yes, yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it's a very good game. I think that CDPR put a lot of heart and soul in the game. It's got a lot of layers. The gameplay is fun when it works.
Yes, love it. The gameplay
Let's
loop,
say
it works.
it's a good game, but the fact that I have to add the caveat when it works,
Hmm.
I don't think it's a well-made game. I've played, and earlier when I said, you can't really tell how many hours I've been on games, I'll go away, I'll do whatever. I've probably spent probably about 7 hours actually playing the game. I've
Have you got to the title screen?
no,
Okay.
that's the thing. That's showing I like the game that much. Like I'm legitimately playing it. And I've not even got to the fucking title screen. Uh, but I've had multiple issues. I've not even counted where the game is completely like frozen to where I
Hmm.
think it's gonna crash and then it recovers. And goes for like 5 to 10 seconds. So it's a long, like it's a tangible amount of time.
I've had
Sometimes the
3.
audio, and I've had the game completely crash and the game application close out on my Xbox 3 times in these 7 hours. I am saving in this game. You save often in RPGs. I'm not
Yes.
saving as often because I'm afraid of screwing something up. I'm saving because I don't know when my game's going to crash.
Well, side note real quick, they do have a really, really good, and I've seen other people talk about this, a really aggressive quick save or like auto save. I mean,
They do. They do.
like I've went back a couple times and seen like 4 or 5 saves, and I've only had 2 manual, and I'm like, oh shit, and they're like 4 minutes apart. So I'm like, oh shit, I can. Okay, cool, and I've had to reload like 2 times.
Yeah,
I'm
so you're
like,
not
wow,
completely fucked, but it
yeah,
is annoying. It's very annoying.
very.
Beyond that, I've seen just clipping issues, which I really don't mind so much.
Hmm.
It's a video game. It's not going to ruin my suspension of disbelief if there's a character slightly in a countertop. But the other issue I've had is,
Those are fun.
yeah, like it's just kind of like silly, you'll have pop-up screens that take up like a quarter of your screen for like tips, like, hey, if you push the A button, you'll climb, or stick 2 fingers up your ass,
Hmm.
and
It's my favorite one.
but yeah, it's everyone's favorite one. It's the double click, but it's the menu, the tip screen, whatever you call it, does not go away and just occupies a quarter of your screen.
Oh, I haven't
Apparently,
had
other
that
people
one.
have had this. I have. I should preface. I am running on an Xbox One X. I'm not running on current gen console, but I am running on. I'm not running on the OG Xbox.
Hmm.
Your mileage may vary. Um, but that's happened to me numerous times, and I've had to. I'll save, and then I'll quit the game. But like that menu, at first I thought it was just like like a menu that didn't know it was overstaying its welcome, kind of like Clippy from Microsoft Word.
Hmm. Yeah.
But then I noticed that like other text boxes were coming in that were supposed to give me information, and I couldn't see them because this one was staying on top.
Yeah.
And so I had to quit the game each time for it to go away. Um,
I've
and
had to
I
restart a
think
couple of missions.
the game knew that because it also crashed the game at one point for me, so I didn't even have to quit it. The game took care of it
It's like we
itself.
fucked up.
Yeah, it's um, and the reason why I bring up that the game has completely crashed on me is because that's happened. Big games that's happened on the Xbox One, like Assassin's Creed Origins. I've had that happen
Oh,
on the Xbox One.
yes.
You know what I'm talking about. But on the Xbox One X,
Origins was classic fuck up though.
the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of games that have this issue when playing on the Xbox One X, they'll freeze for just a split second and then they'll recover and keep playing. I've rarely ever had any other game crash on me on the One X. Like it happens, but it doesn't happen often enough for me to like care.
Mm-hmm.
This game I've played for 7 hours. It has completely crashed. It's frozen and recovered probably more times than not,
Mm-hmm.
but it's crashed out. And the third time it happened to me this early this morning, I got pissed off and quit playing for a while. Three, and I was done. Because my goal was, originally when we were talking about recording this, I was going to tell you, man, I've been playing Cyberpunk, and I'm literally going to go back to playing it. But I've not been playing Cyberpunk most of this morning.
Yeah.
I got pissed and quit playing for a while, which I hate that. I like the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really demotivating though, and I hate to be I told you so with this, but I was telling a lot of my friends they keep delaying the game. I'm worried there's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hate to, because I wanted to be so wrong. I really did. And
there was some deleted developer Reddits where like they deleted their accounts where it was coming out that they said, "Hey, we thought we were telling for one we were not aware of when the delay was the original delay was told, and the subsequent delays weren't relayed to a lot of us. But we were telling them this is not ready, it's not ready, it's not ready." And they said that even up as of December, they said this easily could have been another 4 or 5 months for them to pick it. They were like, we would, if it would have been up to us, we would have easily said, give us another 4 to 5 months to get ready and we'll make it a summer release. And I guess it was just like, no, we announced we got to do it. We got to do it. And looking at the game, I don't know what the problem is. It's kind of like the mystery of Call of Duty being 200 gigs. Why the fuck is that game 200 gigs, but Skyrim is 6? Like, why is that a thing? So I look at the game and I'm playing it, and I don't know. I'm like, why? What is happening? Like, are these characters living full lives? And is there a billion lines of dialogue I don't know about? And like, why
the
is this so
graphics are
difficult?
earth shattering, right?
Yeah, they look pretty.
They're good.
I'm running the 60 frames on my Series X, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going back to 30. But that's not still.
On the One X, I'm having draw distance. That like things are popping up on screen for me, like as I get close to them. I don't know if that's across the board. I doubt it is. Like I could be driving through Night City, and I'll see like barricades that are destructible, and I'll like, oh, okay, it opens up here, and I'll turn, and I'll end up driving through a barricade because it just now spawns in.
Oh, god damn. See, I've been hearing that for PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, and then Xbox, One S and X. I've heard that it's borderline like 75% playable. My experience is totally different with that, as far as I don't know what they did differently, if they did do anything differently or what with the Series X and the PS5, and of course the PS or the PC and the Stadia versions. I've not actually had the game fully shut off on me. I've not really noticed too many pop-ins. I've noticed the floating prompts where they don't go away, and I've loaded a checkpoint to get them off my screen. I have had it freeze, and not to a point to where like it's like a full 10 to 15 seconds before I'm like, okay, and all I've had to do is hit like the guide button, and that's once I hit the guide button, it kind of it's almost like it wakes it up. It's like, hey, wake up, and it goes, oh, and like it'll continue on or whatever. Like even during a cutscene, I've had it happen. Like it was showing me like this map readout of a building, and it was like spinning, and then it stopped spinning, and like things like these wavelengths were around it, and they kept going, and I could still hear the wavelengths make a noise. It just didn't continue on to the next part. So I hit my guide button, and it's like it almost woke it up, and it went or whatever. So I haven't had any game crashing moments where the game was unplayable. So yeah, luckily, as far as I know, I haven't heard about PS5 and Series X. I don't know about Series S. I haven't heard any reports about Series S. And of course,
Here's-
PS5, the digital version and the disc version are the same system, just without an optical disc drive.
Right. I think you're having issues on the Series X, and I'm having worse issues on the One X. And I just think that it's unacceptable at this point. Granted, we're like on day 2 of release.
Yeah.
And or day 1 is technically no, because it came out on Thursday. So yeah, I'm working Thursday, man. Thursday screwed up my understanding of how days work.
Yeah, I'm at work at 4 a.m., so it's weird. You're like, ugh.
Yeah. So we're on day 2 of release. The optimist in me says this game is going to be running fine in a few weeks, maybe a month. Like, and this will all just look back on this and laugh. But a lot of people I talk to say, "Oh, well, I'm just not going to get it on this gen. I understand that the game really wasn't made for this gen in mind, and so I don't really care about that." And I can't subscribe to that thought because this game was advertised and promoted for last gen.
It was announced in 2012.
It was sold full price for last gen.
Yeah.
Yes. There was no reason, in my opinion, to not expect this game to function on all cylinders on last gen, especially on the One X and PS4 Pro.
I will say though that
that's my thought.
I think that their problem is that they got overzealous of how many places they were going to release this, and once they got the hype of just announcing it, they were like, "Yeah, we're going all out. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this." Then we got time to it. They were like, "Guys, this is really hard. We're developing this for 9 different OSs. Like we have your PC OS, we have your Xbox OS, we have your PlayStation OS, we have your next gen OSs that have upgrades, we have different settings, we have a streaming only version now. You know, like we have all these fucking versions we're coming out with. And the thing I think that's the main reason of this is just my opinion. I think this stupid non-cutting off of generations is what is killing this console release for PS5 and the Xbox Series, because they keep doing this. We're doing it for both. We're doing it for both. And every launch has had like a couple games that are like, we're doing it for this and the next gen version. And they have 2 different fucking versions, like full on. I know there were 2 different full on versions of games when they came out. There wasn't like buy one and it's for both and this and this. It's like, no, you can buy this version, which doesn't have a lot of features, and then you can buy the real version. And sometimes the last gen version was made by like another company in correlation with the big company. And like it wouldn't have like full features of different shit. Like, hey, there's no multiplayer in this version, but this version has everything you want in its next gen. Like this cross, you have to build it for everything, I think is killing it. And the fact that they weren't getting development kits fast enough, because I think that this game is a culmination of, I think, almost a rush console release. Because I don't feel like Xbox and PlayStation were even ready to release next gen consoles. I feel like they were just like, they're like, it's been 6 and 7 years respectively for these. It's time for new hardware, we guess. But they just did midlife recycles like 2 years ago.
Look how hard it is to get a hold of one of these consoles still. It's crazy. You had to camp outside for over a day. This is stupid.
And you can't get
online. There's no reason, in my opinion, why it should be this hard to buy these things.
But like I said, I
can't get them online. Why can't I go to Sony.com, Microsoft.com, and order
buy
one? Like it's just buy one, and then oh, we don't have them. We don't have them in stock yet. Okay, well, take my money and give me a number, and I'll get it when you have it.
Well, see, I've heard people be like, well, you know, COVID. And I'm like, that's fine. I understand that.
Sure.
If that's the reason, then these companies need to come out and say that's the reason. Come out and say, hey, our manufacturing plant was hit. This was hit. Both Sony and Microsoft have explicitly said our manufacturing places will not be affected by COVID. I mean, they said it definitively, no effective. We're going to get as many systems as we plan to get for launch. So I'm sitting there going, so then the other caveat of, you know, combining the Cyberpunk into this system launch failure is I think on the other hand of that too, with the shortages, doing this stupid release online, pick up in store shit, knowing full well that there are snipers out there and scalpers that have admitted to getting, you know, thousands There's one that I think we talked about last time, that this scalping group, they usually use this algorithm and this program that they have to get shoes when they come out, because those are rare, and they just correlated it and just made it fit PS5s. And they just told the sites, they just changed the sites out, what sites they go to get their shit. And so they went in and they said that they've got over 3,500 PS5s to date. And it's just like, this is horseshit. So you have that shit. Now that's definitely a COVID bullshit, the availability of it. But then the manufacturing thing is just like, well, stop doing that. And then the rumors is that PlayStation gave development kits over a year ago to CD Projekt Red, and Xbox just got their current development kit this summer to CD Projekt Red and other companies too. That's why you're seeing weird staggered releases on like, hey, we have a game, it's optimized for Series and PS5, but kind of not really. It just runs a little better. It's not full next gen, because we have like almost no, that I could think of any full next gen only games besides like Bugsnax and Astro's Playroom and shit like that. So it's like you have all that correlating to it, and then Cyberpunk just getting, because they said they literally said they built this on Xbox One dev kits and PCs. That's how they got the Xbox version out, and they correlated the Xbox version to a PC since it can scale the same way. And PlayStation luckily got their dev kits out earlier, but we're seeing a lot of problems on PS4 just like we are on OG Xboxes. So it's like they should just shot for the moon, but then if also they're not getting the dev kits until July 2020, and the game's that means that if they would have hit their original release date, I don't know what would have happened. Like I don't know how that would have happened.
They wouldn't have had next gen versions for it at that point, and that's a good question. I mean, I'm really hoping we just get something to fix it this like soon, or this is
the shit that keeps me up at night. I swear to God, this is the stupid shit I think about laying in bed. I'm like, man, if they would have got this.
So here's my concern. I think CD Projekt Red's a good developer. I love the Witcher games. And I like the content in this game. I'm afraid this is going to be considered a failed launch and a failed game if they don't get their feet under them quick. Because people are impatient. I'm impatient. Gamers are impatient. And if this game goes on and it's not functionable on a majority of the platforms for let's say a month, who's going to be talking about CD Projekt Red other than making memes about how it doesn't fucking work? I mean,
well, we're just going to have the same situation like we had with BioWare with Andromeda. We're going to have the same situation with Anthem. We're going to have these places that we've went to time and time again for great games. Day one, right out of the gate, perfect. They run well, great stories, all this shit. And these big companies just keep having, Bethesda with Fallout 76, just all these fucking, it's like all these studios are just kind of crumbling that were like pillars of video games. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now? Why? What changed? What changed?
I said Duke Nukem Forever when this game got delayed for 6 months, and everyone said I was a pessimistic asshole. And I said Duke Nukem Forever. Remember Duke Nukem Forever? Oh, that's not like Duke Nukem Forever. Okay.
Well, if you're pessimistic, then at least you're happily surprised if it does work out. You're like,
I
want to be wrong.
I want to be wrong. I got this game mostly with points that I got from Bing. So
nice.
I got it on discount.
Yeah.
I'd be heartbroken over losing like 20, 25, 30 bucks.
Now, I will. Some good things about the game. I'm gonna do a sandwich. We shit on it.
Yeah.
I'll say some good things, and I'll end the podcast with me giving my experience because it's annoying to me. The good thing is it's a $60 game. No matter what you get, it's $60. You get the game, whatever platform. Doesn't matter. You pay $60, get it. There's no $10 for an upgrade and binging you for this like Black Ops is doing. $60, whatever your platform, you have the game. And for PS5 and Xbox Series, if you buy it on the lower tiers, you get the next gen version for free when it comes out. So when they do finally get everything, when you get you'll probably be able to get those consoles when this next gen version comes out, which is like next year, like the end of next year. So Series X will have a great year next year because you'll be able to play next gen Cyberpunk and Halo Infinite. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll have God of War Ragnarok on PS5 and Cyberpunk. Yeah, so I'm hoping for God of War Ragnarok and maybe a full Spider-Man 2 next year for PlayStation 5 and Cyberpunk on PS5, next gen. But so that's a good thing. It comes right out of the gate. And like I said, you get that next gen. They were the first ones to say, hey, we know we're launching on last gen and current gen with the last gen version, but we're going to give you that next gen when it comes out next year. And their next DLC, I'm not sure if all the DLC is free, but their first DLC is free.
Well, Witcher 3 did a lot of free DLCs, so it's
and their DLC was like award-winning DLC for Witcher 3. Like that was top
Witcher 3
DLC.
Had 2 paid expansions that were amazing and worth every penny, and then they had like almost a dozen free ones that like just added missions that were really cool here and there, and they were cool. They were substantive.
Yep.
And they were very different.
Now, like I said, I've not had any like gameplay issues. I played it from 11 a.m. yesterday all the way until like 9 something, and then I hopped on Fortnite with one of my little brothers, and it was the first. I will say something good. It was the first game in a long time I really didn't want to stop playing. I didn't sit there and go like, oh, I could probably do this, I could probably do that. I was like, no, maybe I should get that shit done real quick so I can come back and keep exploring this world because I want to find out more. I wish you had played, and I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't, up to title screen because something happens and game got me emotional, and I wasn't fucking expecting that, and I was like, holy shit. And I mean, you don't have Keanu in your game yet.
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
7 hours into the game.
Yeah.
It's we shit on this game a lot tonight, but I've been playing it for 7 hours, and I've not even gotten to like the main potato, and I'm digging it, and I'm doing upgrades, and I'm picking upgrades that I think will help me the most.
Once I dove into that system, I think I was actually messaging you. I was like, dude, once I dove in, and I actually props to Dr. Disrespect. I watched his stream because I'm doing Nomad. I think you're doing Nomad, and he did Nomad. And I rewatched the cinematics to make sure I was getting the story. And then I watched him go through and craft. And of course, he has thousands of people watching him, so they're like helping him. Like, hey, this is what you should do. This is the menu. Well, in turn, they're helping me. So I'm like, oh wait, I can do that. Oh, I should probably start dismantling stuff so I can get components, so I can start crafting, so I can do this and this. And I was like, oh shit.
The first perk I grabbed was the one where, and I just figured it'd be useful because it looked useful. You auto dismantle all junk you get.
Yeah, I did that one too.
Pick up like a dildo or something. It just automatically breaks down into crafting materials.
By the way, full disclosure, I totally went full big penis. I just went there and said, screw it. I'm going full big penis.
We're getting some latency.
Oh wait, you hear me?
Last bit.
Hear me? You got me? Oh no. Okay, we're back again. Sorry. That's
all right.
Wait, we went for like an hour and a half with nothing, so that's way better than earlier.
Yes.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, it was a weird place to end on, but I went full big penis. That was a weird place to end. I'm just gonna say that because
for all the build-up for the genital customization, I don't think this is a spoiler. I'm really disappointed that you couldn't put Albert in there. You know what I mean?
Dude, some Jacob's ladder and Prince Albert. That'd be kind of nice or something or whatever. You can customize pubic hair. You can have heart pubic hair.
Circumcised, uncircumcised, vagina, or just underwear.
Yeah.
What's even more disappointing, one of the first things I did. So you can get a katana right at the start of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
I have not got it yet.
GOG account.
I've not even done it yet. Yeah.
So if you do that, it takes no time to do it. You do that, you get a katana and you get like a Witcher shirt and a Witcher jacket, which get outclassed immediately. But the katana.
Oh, it didn't have me sign in to that account, which is weird. I noticed other people were getting that prompt, and I was like, I never got that prompt. What's this?
Yeah, it's something you got to hit on the main menu. But you get this katana, and what I wanted to do when I sit down in my apartment in the game is take my pants off and just have my dick swinging around and cut a guy's head off with a katana. But I looked down, and it put underwear on, and I'm just, immersion broken.
Done.
Worst part of the game.
Done.
Brought it down 3 points. Yeah.
Out of here. Out of here. Instead of 10, nah, 9.7. Because it's 9.7 there.
Yeah. Oof.
But no, like
can't have the swing fights.
But no, that game, like I said, it got me emotional in places that happened. And like I said, Keanu's not even in your game yet. I'm 14 hours in, and the world's opened up and everything like that. Here was my gripe though, man. And I'll finally, after 2.5 hours, get into this. So I start the game, and I have HDR on my TV, and I'm so picky about picture. Like people get annoyed when I come. Like my parents hate because I'll if we're watching a movie, I'm like, why is the mouse off? Why is it so dark? Why is it too bright? Why is this? Why is that? So as like I said earlier, I went through all the HDR settings for my TV and this and all that kind of stuff because I paid money. I worked hard for. I want the best possible picture. I'm playing on Series fucking X, right? If I was playing on PS5 or Series X, I want great pictures and stuff. I got performance mode. I want 60 frames a second. I want all the shit I was promised. And I noticed as soon as I come out of Nomad, and you're driving out of the garage,
yeah,
I watched Dr. Disrespect play it. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop before spoilers happen and I'll start my game. Because I just want to make sure I started in the right place. I drive out, it's so fucking bright. I can't see the road. Like the sunspots are so bright, it cuts out the color and it's just straight white. Like the roof of my car is straight white. And I'm in a red car. So I'm like, why is this so? Is this normal? Is it supposed to be? I know that the neons in the city is supposed to be overdone and expansive and blur, all that shit, whatever. But I'm out in the desert. What the fuck's up with this? So I go to the HDR settings and they're the most confusing words I've never heard in my entire fucking life.
Gamma 1, Gamma 2, or something like that.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not even that easy. One is your luminance, which I understand what that is. But it's it can go to 10,000 and everyone's set it to your TV and you can set it to wherever you want. And your TV will max out and this and this and that. I poured over, dude. No lie. This game launched at 7. I changed my time zone to New Zealand so I could play it. I had it preloaded. For whatever reason on Series X, it's only 59 gigs. On PlayStation, it's 70 gigs. On PC, it's 100 gigs. So I was like, what's going on? There's no update. I played it and the brights, when you run up that tower at the very beginning of the Nomad storyline, the stairs were just pitch white. I couldn't even see the metal in the stairs. It just looked like there were white bars going across, pure white bars. And I was like, what is this shit? So I go in, and the middle one, the max ratio. First of all, they show you these two pictures and they flash them. So you don't even get a reference because they go so fast. And then the max ratio changes nothing in the pictures. So I turn it down to a 1. I go back to the game. It looks like it's night outside. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go and I pump it up to a 4. I go outside and boom, it's even brighter. And I'm like, oh my God. There's no default setting. So I can't take my HDRs back to the default so I can start over.
It's so weird because on the One X, I did not have it. I didn't fuck with it at all. I think when I first booted the game up, it asked me to set my luminance and all that. It said move the sliders until the boxes are of the same brightness or until one is barely visible.
I swear I did all that.
And the game looks fine on my TV. When it's not frozen.
Yes, exactly. But see, the thing was, it was almost literally unplayable. Because I would go into areas that were dark and they were pitch the fuck black. I would go up and I do that little scan, right? And to me, it would look like a black wall, nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit scan and the little things I could, loot out of, they'd pop up because they're outlined. But the only way I could see them is if they're outlined. So I'm like, what the literal fuck? And so I would adjust my HDR settings and brighten it back up so I could see. Then I go outside and it was and it was my screen. I was scared my TV was going to be burned in. So I was like, what the? So I poured over it and people were having the same problems.
Yeah.
And they were going over it. And there was guys on PS5, they're fucking with it and that. And last gen, it didn't seem like a problem. On PC, these motherfuckers just turned HDR off because they had ray tracing and all the other shit. So their games look great. And they just turned HDR the fuck off. I'm like, well, I'm in the middle. What do I fucking do? I was like, I want to play this game, but literally, I'm not even being able to pay attention to the story because every 5 seconds I'm having to pause, go change settings, back out to the game, see how it looks, pause again, go back to the settings, go back to HDR, go back to that. And I was doing that off and on the entire first night from about 7:30 p.m. until like 11:30. So I just said, fuck it. I'm not getting the story. I want the story. I want emotionally involved. So I just had to restart it again. I went back, went to bed, was mad about it, got up. It's like, wait a second. I even turned the HDR off completely. Still looked kind of odd. So I was like, wait a minute. Is that how this game's just supposed to look? It's stylized? Like it's over stylized. Granted, I did fix it. I did finally find someone that was like, hey, this is what I like. I found one person that finally had a video on YouTube that was like, this is what I tried on my system. And they had the same TV as I did, luckily. And I tried it and I was like, oh my God, I can see. Okay, I'm not changing anything. I'm not changing anything. And I went through, and sure, there's a couple areas where the only thing that bugs me is some of the lights are like super bright. And I realized that's the style. That's what they want. The neon lights and all that stuff is supposed to be over stylized. So once I finally got my HDR settings, which took me hours to do, I finally wasn't able to enjoy the game yesterday. And like I said, I played from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. and got invested. I cried a little bit. Everything was amazing. So now I'm anxious to get off and jump back into Cyberpunk, to be honest with you.
I hear you, man.
But that HDR, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was so distraught because I was like, this was the one I was waiting for. This was the game that was supposed to show off the capabilities of the PS5 and the Series X. This was it. This was the reason I don't have to get a PC, but I don't want last gen. This is the game I wanted to play on this system. And so finally, when I got it worked out, I was like, oh, thank God. I turned the lights off, dude. I put my headphones on and I fucking went at it. And I've been having an absolute blast. I've had no crashes, just some glitches and some pop-ins, and that's it. Uh-oh, you got the dogs.
Yeah,
I think that's time to call it, man.
Yeah, it sounds good. But hopefully, like in a week, I'm hoping in a couple of days, we're gonna look back at this and laugh. It might be a week, might be a month, but I think it's gonna be in a better place eventually. Just hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
I know the developers wanted 4 or 5 months, but if they just periodically, week by week, start fixing shit, fine. Because honestly, if it finally gets to the point where it's super playable, I still have 2 other playthroughs I could do. They could play completely different than my original playthrough because I could still do Street Kid and I could still do Corpo. So,
right. I mean, the game seems to have a lot of replay factor, and there's not a lot of games I'm really looking forward to right now besides this. So,
nope.
Hopefully, they're just visible, or they're honest about what they're doing.
I hope so. All right, man. Well, hey, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, definitely.
We should do this again in less than 2 months.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, man. I'll shoot you a message later. But hey, thanks for being on the show again.
Yeah. I'll talk to you. And if you need the still of that Xbox thing, I'll send it to you so you can upload it on the Facebook or something.
Yeah. Go ahead and do it. If you guys are listening, here's your thing. If you listen the whole almost 3 hours of this podcast and you want to try out Game Pass for free for 2 weeks, get on the Facebook. Or if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, of course. But get on Facebook. We'll throw that code on there. Give us a thumbs up on there too. So, all right. See you, man. Some relaxing Zelda music to end the podcast. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm so glad you're here. I know it was another long one, another 2 Zach episode. I will be back again for a 1 Zach episode next week, next Friday. But things are looking up. Consoles are out. People are slowly getting them. Cyberpunk's out. It's only going to get better. It's on the holiday season. Hope everyone's having a great one. Spend time with friends and family. And I'm going to throw that Game Pass Ultimate code up on the Facebook. So please take advantage of that, guys. Please do me one favor. Remember, this is the only podcast that you can get the power up and win the game. I'll talk to you guys next week.